Hello. Welcome to my week 3 reading vlog. We're going to start with the Romance Takeover Readathon that starts today on Friday. I'm actually filming this on Sunday because my clip got corrupted. I was able to repair it, so you will see my opening clip here in a second. But the audio is kind of screwy, and I know it, and I tried to fix it, and I tried to see if I could still pull the audio from it, but for some reason, since it got corrupted, I was able to bring the video and the audio back, but it doesn't actually show an audio track. And I know enough of the basics, but not quite enough of the super technical parts to try to get it to resync back up. But because I did my calendar during it, I didn't want to. It's more fun when you get to see me roll the dice in the moment than me coming on here and being like, well, I rolled this and this happened, and I rolled this and this. At least to me, I feel like it'd be more entertaining to actually see me roll the dice and have my live reactions to what's going on. So I just wanted to pop on and say, I know that this next clip is not going to be the prettiest. Please bear with me. And like I said, please forgive the bad quality and the bad audio. But I wanted to at least use what I was able to repair. Happy Friday. I'm home from work. It is 9 o'clock on the dot. And, well, I've been home from work for a while. But it's been a busy evening. It's been a bittersweet, kind of a rough, emotional day. But I got home, fed the kitty, and then the Romance Takeover Readathon started today, and the live show started at 5, so I hopped on that as soon as I fed the kitty and watched that. I also have been working on exporting my paranormal, my best of paranormal, sci-fi, and fantasy bracket. So then that's the last one I have to do. So then tomorrow morning I can upload it to YouTube and then get my blog post posted. So that's pretty good. Then I've finally got that almost wrapped up, and then I can move on. So right now the Avs are also playing. The game didn't start till 7 o'clock tonight, which was kind of a late night. They're having I think I mentioned it in my previous clip. Oh, we just scored. Woohoo, we're tied 3-3. Oh, yay. We just started the third period here, so it's another tied game. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so it's been a crazy day. And I'm super excited for the Romance Takeover Readathon this weekend. I think I mentioned in last week's clip, or last week's vlog, but I might not have too much time to read this weekend. Unfortunately, I do have to work on Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, but we're not a bank or a postal office or anything like that. So we do work, but it's fine. But it's just a little frustrating for me because the Avs play at 1 o'clock and the final Romance Takeover live shows at noon. So I'm just like, oh, great. But that's fine. We'll make do. I'll watch stuff at work if I have to and just have it on the computer in the background, just turned down. That's fine. My boss shouldn't really bother. It shouldn't bother anybody. But anyway, I just completely lost my train of thought. See? Mattresses. I'm telling you, those mattresses just come out of nowhere. Oh, I did want a little bit of bookkeeping. I did finish Magic Binds, book 9 in the Kate Daniels series, and I did last week, and I didn't mention that I applied that to the Winter's Kiss second bingo board for white on the cover, and then I also used it for the Heaving Bosoms reading a brace for something about kidnapping. Let me check my book. A light kidnapping, because Simon gets kidnapped in the beginning. But I guess while we're thinking about it, I got my book here. This is my Avengers composition notebook. Look at it. Ooh. Isn't it gorgeous? I absolutely love this. This is from Endgame. No, I guess it's from Infinity. It says on the back, but I wasn't really looking at the back. But I will go over. I'll put the bingo board here. But so for my Romance Takeover bingo board, I did the 3x3. And I did historical romance, read a book in one setting, new release, POC author, small town romance, 5-star prediction, author you've never read, follow all the hosts, and a romance you didn't get to in 2021. And so I did put together a blog post that went up like the week before, like the end of last week, where I kind of went over some of my options and ideas, but I've kind of narrowed it down on what I might start next. I haven't picked up anything tonight because I've been working on stuff, but now that I've got everything exporting and I've done what I can, I do need to clear some books off my Kindle, because Wednesday, Victoria Aveling's new Cloclanian book came out using Feiho, and I had an error message that I didn't have enough space on my Kindle. I might try it before syncing everything to see, since when I read something, I tend to delete it off my Kindle right away just because I do hurt for space. I have a 1st generation Fire, and a lot of the times I have to hook it up to my computer to manually sync it because, you know, it's older, so sometimes it can get glitchy, or I have to like restart it 5 or 6 times for things to show up and wait for it to like resync to Amazon. So a lot of the times I'll do the Amazon download to your computer. And then, although it doesn't work as well with the Kindle Unlimited books, but I do have a couple of other newer ebooks that I purchased that I need to get on my Kindle. So I at least need to do those. And then maybe while I'm in there, I can delete some of my older stuff off of it. An easier way, since I'll be in the files. But anyway, so I have a few ideas, but the ones that I'm looking at the most is the Rake Appreciation book for this month. The Rake Appreciation is on the 20th. I believe. I was looking for my phone and I'm recording on my phone. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's a Sherry Thomas book. It's the Ravishing the Heiress. I'm going to pop it right here. That one. So when I put together my original TBR, I wasn't even thinking about that book. And then I had my TBR, my blog post all figured out. But I tried to do things in advance on my blog. Like I have the next like week and a half planned out on what's going up on my blog. So I can try to stay ahead. So if my reading slows down, I have time to kind of get things, space it out a little bit, or just kind of adjust things. But anyway, I realized after I had that set, we had the Rake Appreciation book for last month, which was My American Duchess by Eloisa James, I think. But anyway, so they mentioned Ravishing the Heiress, and then I was like, oh wait, the readathon is before the Rake Appreciation meeting. So then I was like, ooh. And one of the last prompts I added was historical romance, because I just kind of wanted something that was easy for me to meet. And then I was like, oh no, it's perfect, because that would count for historical romance, POC author, because Sherry Thomas is Asian, author I've never read before. So it would cover those 3, which is a bingo on its own. So even if I just read that one book this weekend, that would count. I could also probably fit it into read a book in one setting. I've already, one of my prompts is follow all the hosts. I only did one of the like super simple ones like that, or attend a live show or something like that. So I just did one, and I chose follow all the hosts, but even though I already did. And so I have that. I also really want to read using Feiho, like I talked about earlier. This will count for 5-star prediction, new release, and then could also be read a book in one setting. I feel like that one might be more, like I can see myself definitely reading that one in one setting, especially if it's as good as all the other books in the series that I've really enjoyed so far. I've also got, depending on what happens, I also have the small town romance prompt, so I might pick up the next book in the Miles family. So that's book 4, Leo's book. So I might look at that one. I've got a couple other books that I might pick up too. So we'll see. Sunday, I might not have that much reading time. I'm supposed to go over to my brother's and play board games, but they're going to let me know kind of Sunday night what their plans are on Sunday. I probably won't make the readathon reading sprint live show, but I want to be home in time to watch the Sophie Lark author hangout with Jen, the Book Refuge, on her channel. And then I can kind of spend Sunday the rest of the night reading and doing whatever else I need to do before work. So there's that. I'm also hoping I can fit as many of these into the final prompts I have for the first board of Winter's Kiss, so I can get that wrapped up. And those ones, what I have left is starts with the letter N, new release, cursive letters on the title, starts with the letter C, and published in 2021. So that would also help me get to a romance I didn't get to in 2021. So I'm going to try to double dip where I can. And then if any of them also meet the Heaving Bosoms rating and grace, then embrace, then great. But that one has 20 prompts and you have all year to do it. So I'll just fit them in there where they fit when I can. I don't feel the need to be done with it super quickly. Just when it happens, it happens. I can't believe it's already after 9. Okay, so we are going to do the calendar real quick, and then I will try to wrap this up so I am not blabbering on for too long. So yesterday we were doing the demonic temple, and we got through all of the rooms and then made it to the star. So we are going to see what today's is. Whoa. Well, we found the demonic gate. Look at that. That is crazy. Oh, that's so cool looking. Oh, I love it. I love it. And if you're wondering, I cut myself on a highlighter today. Tell me, do you know anybody else who cut their finger on a highlighter? A clicky highlighter. I was like, oh my gosh. I went to my boss and I was like, you will not believe what just happened. Who else cuts their finger on a highlighter? God, you can't take me anywhere, I swear. Okay, anyway, back to the calendar. You finally enter the portal chamber of the temple and see your objective. You quickly get to work in setting up the zenith bomb. It is eerily quiet. You get an uneasy feeling as though you are being watched. Okay, so number 1. Work quickly to rig the zenith bomb to destroy the gate. Roll a d20 plus intellect. That's our high score. That's our high statistic. That's a +4. I know that one because I remember going, we're super smart. Okay. Yep. All right. I need our d20 and let's roll. Oop, oop, oop. It went behind the tripod. Of all the times to roll a 1. It's a critical fail. I don't want to look and see. I don't want to look and see. All right. If the result is 10 or less, yeah, we're below that. Well, I guess technically we're a 4, but still, it's a natural 1. The battles thus far have damaged parts of the bomb. It will still work, but you need to make a few minor adjustments, and they need to be done correctly. You fumble a bit under the immense pressure that has fallen to you. It takes more time to get the bomb set, but it has been activated. You get a -2 penalty for your roll for number 2 below. Okay, so then number 2. Be mindful of your surroundings so that enemies don't ambush you. Roll a d20 plus wisdom. Wisdom's our bad one. Plus we have a -2. Okay. Sometimes this is how it goes. This is just how it goes. Okay. Plus wisdom. Come on, d20. You want to give me good luck, kitty bees? She just rolled upside down. I don't know if that's luck or not. I rolled a 3. Not good. Not good. Okay, this is not our day. So that makes it a 1 plus our wisdom, which is a 1. So a 2. If the result is 10 or less, the Zenith bomb needs more work than you had initially thought and requires too much attention to do it correctly. Above all else, it is imperative that the bomb is activated properly, or this entire mission will have all been for nothing. You fail to notice the gate guardian's slow descent upon you. You feel a stabbing pain as a sharp object pierces your shoulder. Reduce your health by 2. Not bad. It could have been worse. I was worried the bomb was going to like prematurely explode, but it sounds like they're being slightly friendly to us and the bomb will still go off as planned. We're just going to be entirely too focused on it and not as aware of what is going on around us. So yeah, so I'm going to take another 2 health. We are down to have taken 7 health. Oh, I need to add in my healing potion from yesterday too. So we are now at a 7 damage. I feel like I'm missing damage. I feel like it's more than that. I'll have to watch back my clips and see what I said. I feel like it's more. Because I want to say last time we had to roll and I took damage, I said that was almost a third of our damage. Hold that thought. See, this is why I save everything and I write it all down. This one. Okay, we did take 4 damage. So we were at 9 damage. So we took another 2. So we're at 11 damage now, not 7. Okay. So we are at 11. Okay, perfect. And I did not use my erasable pen this time. I used my green clicky pen, but whatever. Okay. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. I'll do my calendar tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. Saturdays and Sundays are on the same page, so we'll only have one more calendar for the next few clips. I will probably come back later tonight. I'm going to finish watching the game and just kind of relaxing tonight and trying to decompress after the day that was today. And then figure out what I want to read. I know for sure I want to read Ravishing the Heiress, but I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for a historical right now. I don't know. I'll update you. I'll do a quick blurb, or I guess I'll update you when I come back once I've read a little bit of it, but it'll most likely be Using Feiho, Ravishing the Heiress, or something else. So we'll see what I end up deciding. I definitely want to read something on my Kindle though, and not paperback, just because I want to be able to lay in bed and not have to use book lights or anything like that to read tonight. So we'll see. It's already after my bedtime and the game still isn't over yet. And then we've got post-game shows. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble for another 20 minutes. I just can't get away from talking too much, but at least this is the opening thing, and I feel like there was more I talked about and not necessarily rambled on as much about, because we did the Romance Takeover and the calendar. I'm making the bed right now, and this is someone's favorite part, when I put the top sheet on. What are you doing? Hello and happy Saturday. It is just about 2:45 Saturday. I've had a busy day so far, but I've actually read quite a bit. This morning I woke up and did the reading sprint that was on Bree in Love and Words channel this morning, and that was super fun. I missed the first little chunk of it, but I was able to start Ravishing the Heiress by Sherry Thomas. This is the Rake Appreciation Society book for the month. Right now I'm about 61% in. I was going to update earlier, but I don't know how I feel about it yet. There are parts that I'm really, really loving, but there are parts where I'm just kind of like, get on with it. So we've got Millie, and she is married. Oh my gosh, I totally just spaced on his name. They call him Fitz. His title name is Fitzhugh, but she calls him Fitz. And she was engaged to, I believe he's an earl, and he suddenly passed away before the marriage, and he was 33 years old and she was 16. So her father kind of ends up pressuring the new earl, who is Fitz, as we know, and he is 19, and they end up getting married. The issue is Fitz is in love with another woman, a little sister of one of his childhood friends from Eton. I think it's Eton. So it's super angsty because she pretty much falls in love with him on first sight, but then as they go along, she really falls in love with him. What I'm really enjoying is the present day stuff, so to speak. It's a lot. It's really angsty. I was kind of hoping that they still haven't even gotten together yet. So I don't know. So the thing is, when they get married, they make a deal. They're gonna wait to consummate, and they're just gonna be friends. And then after they come to a decision that after 8 years, when it's time to get an heir, they'll worry about that then. And then they'll kind of separate and go on their own way. Well, they're coming up on the 8-year mark, and Isabella, the lady that Fitz was in love with, she'd gotten married in the past 8 years, but is now a widow and has come back to London. So with that coinciding, he kind of decides and puts towards Millie about 6 months to try to get an heir. Whether it's a boy, it's a girl, a boy would be preferable, but we're going to shoot for an heir. And then at those 6 months, whether we get one or not, I'm going to basically pick up with Isabella, the person that I always wanted to be with. And it sounds like they're just going to kind of run away together, or I don't know, he talks about, or he mentions to Millie how that's the one person he's going to be with, and he'll be faithful to her. And I don't know, I don't think, but divorce isn't mentioned. So I think they're just gonna run off together and leave Millie just kind of left with the estate and a child kind of a thing. So I know it's gonna be a happy ending for Millie and Fitz, but we're 60% of the way through, and they are supposed to start the 6 months tonight in the book, and it still hasn't happened. And I know Isabella is supposed to be the other woman, so to speak, and I feel like Millie does a really good job because Millie's in love with Fitz, but the way that Sherry wrote Millie, you can kind of see both sides of what Millie's dealing with, where part of her feels guilty for being put in the situation or having to kind of be the one to separate Fitz and Isabella. But at the same time, she was groomed from a young age to marry into a title. She was never asked for her opinion. She just never got the chance to learn, or even she thought about it, but she was never even able to talk about those things out loud of what she would want in a husband, and at least find somebody who could care for her, kind of a thing. So I just feel so bad for Millie, and she's so in love with Fitz, but she also, but it's almost like a decapitating kind of love, because she doesn't, like, she let him just kind of go and sleep around because she knew that she couldn't handle sleeping with him, kind of a thing. So it's very tough. So I like the parts in present day because I feel like we're starting to see Fitz finally see past her walls. I don't know why it took 8 years, but I guess maybe the finality of it coming to an end is kind of, I don't know, making him reassess his life with Millie. And maybe he's realizing that he never really pushed to get to know her before and try to break down those walls. So I don't know. I like him in the present day. I like the quiet strength of Millie. And there's a part where, I can't remember if it's in one of the flashbacks or if it's current day, but where something happens and Fitz realizes that Millie's like quiet or just calm reserve and stoicness isn't just that. It's a quiet strength. And he just is like so impressed with her at that point. So like I said, we're 60% of the way in, and I would have liked more to happen between them. Now, I feel like part of I don't know, there's a couple other things that I'm going to be nitpicky with. So I feel like if this ends well, it'll still just probably be a 4-star at max for me. Unless something like crazy happens, then maybe a 4.5. But there's a couple of things that are bothering me. Sometimes with the writing style, I feel more like I'm being told the story than I'm in the story. And I get everybody has different writing styles, but a lot of historicals I love for the fantasy of it and being able to get swept into and feel like I'm in that time. I'm there watching this happen, like a specter on the wall kind of a thing. And this feels more like the characters narrating what's happening. Okay, I'm back. The washer started freaking out. I have my blankets in there and they all moved to one side. So the spinner was freaking out. So I was like, oh crap, I gotta go fix that real quick. Oh my gosh. I woke up this morning and my eye has been super swollen this morning. But anyway, it looks worse, but yeah. All right. I don't really remember what I was talking about, but yeah. So I'm still not quite sure what to think about it. I don't like Isabella in the current day. I know that. I dislike how she kind of forced Millie to have tea, and then she basically kind of forced Millie, and even though Millie didn't promise anything, she kind of is making sure that Millie's going to let go of her husband so she can be with Isabella. So I did not like that. She's very manipulative, but she's playing it off like she's not. And Fitz kind of sees it as her being just impulsive. But with her meeting with Millie, I'm starting to think that she's not as impulsive as she used to be as a child. And maybe she's playing it up. And there's a scene where Fitz's older sister is coming back. And I think she's the sister that from the first book, which I haven't read because I've heard mixed reviews. And I wasn't in the mood to read it before this one, but I'm sure depending on what happens, I might pick up more in the series, depending on how this book ends up being. But Isabella shows up in full mourning still for her husband, or I guess her now deceased husband, and she kind of just and yes, she used to be friends with Hastings and everybody, and she was good friends with both of his sisters, and Fitz has a twin sister, Helen. And the way that it's kind of being set up, I feel like Helen might be the next book in the series. But we get a few scenes from her point of view of like what's going on with her. So I don't know if it's enticing you to read the next book or if she's just having a secondary romance. I don't feel like she is. But like if it was like the first one from Helen's point of view, it was kind of her observing Millie and Fitz as like a third party's view of what's going on with them, and that I found interesting. But then since then we've had a couple where it's just her at her publishing house or her dealing with Hastings kind of a thing. So I don't know. The writing style is a little bit tough for me. Oh, I remember what I was going on about before. So there's flashbacks. I don't mind flashbacks if they're done well. I feel like the way that the flashbacks are inserted in the story so far are at good points to go back in time and just show us a little bit more of like what happened on the honeymoon and what their agreement for their marriage. And like, it's giving you little bits. However, each flashback is like a full chapter. And I wish that the flashbacks were shorter, because sometimes the flashbacks are more drawn out than a present day chapter. And I don't need that. I need the flashbacks to be shorter. At least half a chapter. I don't need that much in flashback time. I also find it really weird that they keep referring to Millie's mother as Mrs. Graves. We are 61% of the way in, I said. And I kept thinking it was weird. So the first time that I saw Mrs. Graves is referred to as mother, I didn't look at the percentage, but it has happened 3 times since, 2 of them in the same sentence or in the same paragraph. It's weird. Like, she doesn't have to call her mama or whatever the colloquial terms were from back there, but it's weird that she doesn't call her mother. So I don't know. It's still engaging enough and I'm enjoying the story enough, but I feel like it's kind of like an interesting nonfiction or like an interesting textbook. And I don't want to say that her writing is textbook at all, but it's like the same kind of like when I would read a really interesting or something I really cared to learn about textbook that would keep me engaged in college. It's like the same kind of feeling. Like I'm really interested in learning their story and I'm really enjoying like reading and seeing what happens and learning more about them and their story, but I'm not necessarily drawn into it. I hope that makes sense. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I decided to pick up this first because I figured if I don't get to any other book, that would at least give me a bingo. And I completely missed it, but Jen mentioned in the live show last night, the kickoff live show, that they were going to do prizes for bingos. So I want to at least get a bingo and put my name in the prize or in the pool to win a prize. But yeah, so not much else has gone on. You saw a clip. I finally changed my bed sheets. I was going to do it last weekend, but then I was like, I don't have to do my normal laundry. So I was like, I'm not doing any laundry today. So I changed my bed sheets. My bed's all nice and clean and pretty. It's covered in stuff right now, but I just love a nice clean bed. And I'm just hoping the kitty, I don't know if you saw her curled up in the corner. I can't tell you, like 9 times out of 10, whenever I make a new bed, within the first 24 hours, she throws up. And usually I get it fast enough that I can just pull the top blanket off and it doesn't soak through. That's one of the downsides to having a cat. But she doesn't throw up too often. It just seems like it always coincides with me changing the bed. And it's probably not every time I change my bed, but I always notice it because it's like, I just did the bed sheets. But anyway, I don't have any tea right now. I've got some orange juice. I was feeling something sweet. So I'm using my Dead Serious About Books mug. I like to use smaller cups when I drink juice just because it's so sweet and I just want a little bit. So I just did a half a mug. A lot of times I use like little mini mason jars to drink juice out of, but anyway, But otherwise, I've been trying to be good about drinking water. I'm going to rotate you slightly. Okay. So, I know, I'm just like, and I don't even know if I'm in the same place from before my washing machine started freaking out. But anyway, we'll go ahead and do the calendar since I'm thinking about it, and then get that done for the weekend. So yesterday we were setting up the Zenith Mom, and this is the like special magic portal gate. Yeah, it doesn't say what it's called here. And then we got stabbed because we were struggling yesterday. So we will flip it off, and ooh gosh, that's creepy. Look at that. Oh my god, it's like a weird spider demon. She's creepy. All right. The guardian of the demonic gate hovers above you. You sense its anger. It knows that the gate is in danger. You need only stall it long enough for the Zenith Palm to destroy the place. Blood drips from its fangs while red, empty eyes peer into yours. It is trying to use a dark magic to paralyze you with fear before it devours you. So it says, roll for each round. D20 plus wisdom, D20 plus attack, and damage. So we will look at the back of yesterday's. Okay, so the wisdom rolls are going to be to not be frightened, it looks like. Let me grab my dice. And wisdom is our +1 stat. So that is not fun. All right, let's see. Ha! Nat 20. Thank you, dice, for making up for last night. Woohoo! Heck yeah, this is our first natural 20 on this little die. I'm so excited. Okay. If your wisdom roll is 8 or less, it is not. It is not. I feel like because I rolled a natural 20, there should be like special rolls where like, depending on what it is, something cool happens. But I know that's harder to do in like this kind of a game. But it'd be nice where it'd be like, if it's something that you have to roll like if there's multiple rounds for, you succeed on the next 2 or something like that. But that's just my wishful thinking. But anyway, so now we get to roll our attack die. And we got a 16. So that is, our attack is a +3, so that is 19. So we hit the spider guardian. So now we will roll our d12. 11. Heck yeah. Okay, if you hit and your damage is 3 or more, oh yeah. Or nope, that's round 2. Round 1, 5 or more. The spider guardian is stunned this round. So cool. We at least stunned her. So now we do another wisdom roll because this is round 2. She's stunned, so she doesn't attack us this round. This time an 18, an 18. If your wisdom roll is 8 or less, we are fine. We are not frightened. Let us attack. That is a 9. So 9 plus 3. So we've got a 12. If your attack roll is 12 or less, oh my gosh, we just barely missed. You missed the spider guardian. If the enemy is not stunned, it squeezes you with its many legs. So it needs our defense. Our defense is also 12. If your defense is 13 or less, reduce your health by 4. Holy crap. We are now at 15 damage, which is half of our health. Not good. Okay, I'll make a note of that in a second here. Last one, round 3. Ooh, another 18. Heck yeah. So we are not frightened. It does say here, if we were to become frightened, just in case you want to know, it says to re-roll your attack and take the result if it's less than your first attack. So that's cool. So now we will attack, but we are not frightened. Natural 20. That would be like automatic hit and double damage in like normal D&D. But this is not normal D&D. But that's exciting. 2 nat 20s in a day after a natural 1 yesterday. So, all right. My D20 was to get back in my good graces, I think. So, yes, my dice have like sentient being things inside them. We got a 4 on our damage. So what is this? If you hit and your damage roll is 4 or more. Okay, we just barely made it. The spider guardian dies. We've killed her. Okay. Whether you killed the guardian or not, combat is over. So we killed the guardian. We are done. So this creepy spider guardian is dead. Woohoo. We defeated it. Perfect. So I'm guessing Monday will be finishing setting up the Zenith bomb or triggering the Zenith bomb. But we will have to wait until Monday to find out. So that's it for the calendar to get today. I'll make sure to write down my hit point damage here because I forgot the day before. And I'm going to go back. I have a little bit of time. It's just after 3. The game is on at 7, so pre-game starts at 6:30. So I have a little bit of time. I should definitely be able to finish Ravishing the Heiress at least today. Hopefully before the game, depending on how much other stuff pops up. But I'm mostly just getting up every 45 minutes or hour and switching my laundry. But I've got one more load to put in the washer. That's my sheets. And then I'll be done with laundry for a week. But that's okay. So I will be back in touch once I have finished Ravishing the Heiress by Sherry Thomas. So I finished Ravishing the Heiress. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. I saw Crystal, gave it 5 stars. I'm sorry, Crystal. If you don't want to hear me rant about it, skip ahead. Oh my gosh. That was angsty. It was really angsty. He's still with the other woman and hasn't officially ended it with her until like 91, 92%. He realizes that he doesn't actually love her and doesn't want to be with her, but he doesn't have the chutzpah, I guess. Or he hasn't figured out a way to break it off with her because he still cares about this other woman. I know. Mama's upset. So I thought, fine. Okay. We got like 7% left. Let's do this. 95%. He kind of like, we don't actually see him say to her, I love you. We see them after they make up. That he mentions that he loves his wife. Okay, fine, whatever. I thought, okay, we'll at least get 5% of them in an HEA. 2 pages later, 96%, the end. The rest of the 4% is the prologue to the next book. If it's going to have that much angst, I need more happy times. I need more happy times. This book made me cry, so my eyes are swollen. And they were slightly swollen before anyway. But now they are swollen because there were parts that really got me. I also was really angry and literally said, that's it. When I'm still slightly in my feels. So he takes Isabel to go see a house that Isabel thinks is going to be their house. This is after Millie tells him that they need to separate because he needs to do right by Isabella and actually marry her, not only for the sake of the children that she had with her her deceased husband, but for any children that they might have in the future. And he needs to do this to be fair so that she can go off and have a family and find happiness and have her own children. So he goes to take Isabella to see what she thinks is going to be the house that they're going to move into together. And he realizes it's not home. He still wants his estate, Henley Park. Well, when he gets to Henley Park, he realizes not only is Henley Park his home, it's with Millie. And he needs to finally say it and tell Isabella. Well, when he's telling Isabella, like, goodbye, pretty much, Millie stumbles across them, hugging on the bridge, and runs off and just finds a secluded spot where she feels comfortable enough to break down in tears because she doesn't show anybody her emotions. And then she comes back and he's like, we've been looking for you for hours, and kisses her. And she's like, I saw you hugging on the bridge. And he's like, I was telling her goodbye. And that's it. For how much pain he had put her through. 8 years. This entire friggin' book. That's it. There were parts I liked. I thought about giving it 3 stars, and I couldn't give it 3 stars. I'm thinking about giving it 4 stars. But right now, in my feels, it's 3.5. I think I'm going to wait till after the Rake Appreciation Society meeting to possibly change it and kind of get some distance and see what other people thought about the book. I saw Crystal gave it 5 stars and Jen gave it 4 stars. I saw Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers read it a little bit ago and gave it 2 stars. So she was definitely more with my train of thoughts. I don't like angst, and if I'm gonna be put through the ringer, I need the happiness to, even if it's for a shorter amount of time, bring me more joy overall than the emotional turmoil I was put through. So yeah, I don't know what to read next. I want to pick up Using Feiho next. I really want to read Using Feiho for the readathon, but I'm in such a weird mood right now. I feel like I need to, and while sci-fi is completely out of the realm, I'm thinking of either picking up, Jackie Lau released around Christmas or just before New Year's a free novella to her newsletter subscribers called A Very Berry New Year. And she's like a cozy contemporary person that I love. So I think I might read that. That's, I think, novella 3.5 in her Cider Bar Sisters series. Or I might pick up Leo's book in Claire Kingsley. Although I know it's going to make me cry too, because I know Leo has PTSD and scarring, and he's going to have some issues. But the way that Claire Kingsley writes will make me feel better. But I'll be back once I figure out what I'm picking up next. The game starts in like half an hour, so we'll see what I decide to do. I'll be back soon. Sunday. It's just before 4 o'clock. I'm just now leaving my brother's. We've been playing board games most of the day. I got there about 9:30ish. We ended up playing a game of Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, Betrayal at the House on the Hill, I think. I don't know. I took little B-roll clips of each game, and then we played a round of Wingspan. I won Betrayal at the House on the Hill, or whatever it is. The haunt that we got this time was I ended up being the traitor, and I triggered like a dragon, and it was kind of weird because myself and my brother were almost dead when I triggered the haunt, so I just kind of had to take out Sarah, and then it was easy to get my brother. So I did manage to get the dragon to kill everybody. And then Alex won. Alex is my brother. He won Wingspan. And then I can't remember who won Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. Oh, Sarah won Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. So we each won something. So that was super fun. It's always nice to play board games. Like I said, it's almost 4 o'clock. I'm not wearing my watch, but I keep looking at my wrist today. I forgot to put it on when I left this morning. But I am headed home. Hopefully I won't be too late to catch the Sophie Lark live interview on Jen's channel, or I guess Author Hangout is what she calls them. So that'll be fun. And then I kind of plan on feeding the cat. And then I need to pull some stuff off my phone tonight, some photos and stuff, and make some space. And then depending on what happens, I'm probably going to pick up using Feiho. I picked it up last night, or at least I meant to, and I read about 3 pages before I moved on to something else. It just, I don't know, the game was super late. I hate the late start times, and then by the time all the post-game stuff got done, I was just too tired. And the game before, so Friday nights, I didn't update you. And I'm sorry my steering wheel's in the way, but I have you sitting behind my steering wheel. But so Friday night, the Avs won 5-4. It not only ended up going to overtime, but it went to shootout, which if you don't know, if nobody scores in overtime, I think it's a 5-minute overtime, then there's 3 chances in the shootout, and it's 3 no matter who scores, kind of a thing. And then once it hits, each team has done 3 chances of scoring a goal, then it turns to 1 goal apiece until whoever scores a goal and the other team doesn't. So we ended up winning Friday night in a shootout overtime. And Kadri scored the overtime goal, but it's unfortunate that because it was a shootout goal, it didn't count for his goal streak of games, so that's over. But last night, they defeated the Coyotes. It was a back-and-back home. So they were in Arizona playing the Coyotes. They won 5-0. So that was a super fun game. It was also exciting. It's the first shutout that we've had of the season. And it's Darcy Kemper was the goalie that played last night. So it was his first shutout of the season and for the Avalanche. And we actually traded the Coyotes for him in the offseason. So not only was it the first shutout for him for the Avs, it was against his former team. So that was cool. Darcy Kemper is one of my favorite goalies. He's not top tier, but he doesn't have to be top tier. But he's just the smiliest. A lot of goalies are very stoic and they don't like to talk very often to like media. But every time you see Darcy Kemper, he's just smiling and having a good time on the ice, off the ice. I just love his attitude and his personality. And he's one of my favorite goalies to ever play for the Avs, just based off of that. So yeah, there's that updated. I'm trying to think here. I updated you on the Avs games. I didn't really read much of using Feiho. Tonight I have to refilm. All of the clips that I recorded on Friday got corrupted. So I have to refilm my wrap up that I recorded Friday for last week's vlog, so I'll be in the same outfit as this week. And then I was able to repair my opening vlog, but the audio's all, you saw earlier in this vlog, the audio's all funky, but I didn't want to have to redo the quest calendar stuff because it's more fun in the moment. So I just saved it, and then the other clip that was lost was me basically saying goodbye to my morning job, because Friday was my last day there, and it was only like 5 minutes long. And even if I didn't have it in the vlog, I wanted to at least, like, it was goodbye to the office that I've been at since 2017, but it's fine, whatever. Hold on a second, we've got train tracks here. So yeah, it's unfortunate that I lost that, but I'll have to film that tonight. But hopefully I can get a good chunk through using Feiho. I didn't read as much as I was planning to for the readathon, but we'll see what I can get. I'm hoping I can at least get using Feiho done by tomorrow, end of night, and then maybe pick up a novella or something to try to meet some of the other prompts. I wanted to try to get a blackout on my little 3x3 board, but mostly because I'm using one book for multiple prompts, so I thought it might be easier. So we'll see what I end up being able to read. I do have to work tomorrow on Martin Luther King Day, so we'll see what happens. But otherwise, what do you think of my glasses? I don't know what to think of them. I had a different pair of glasses, and they weren't like the cat eye wing or whatever they call it, but they were also like thicker on my face, and they are my favorite glasses, and I've had them for a few years. But because it was so cold, I accidentally snapped the like hinge parts on it, so I snapped one of the sides off, and that was really sad. What I need to do is, when I find a pair of sunglasses I like, just buy two, so when it inevitably breaks or gets scratched up to all heck, I have an extra pair. But I got these. I used to subscribe to the Crazy Cat Lady box, and I got these in that they're made of bamboo, and they have a different kind of tint on them than I'm used to. It's like a blue greenish tint, but I don't know how I feel about them on my face, so we'll see. I'm still not used to them though, because I just started using them this last week, and I can see like the tips of the cat eye or cat wing, the wing, I don't know, whatever this little pointy is. I can see that in my peripheral, and I'm not used to it there. So I see it in my peripheral, and I'm not able to completely block it out yet. So that's super weird, but yeah, that's all I have for now. I'll update you later tonight once I can get more than 3 pages into using Feiho.
Hello again. It is just about 9 o'clock Sunday night, and I am 28% into using Feiho by Victoria Aveline. I'm just about to start chapter 9. I figured this would be a good place to kind of update, even though I'm not at like 50% yet. I figured, in case you haven't read any of the Cleclanian books before, I wanted to kind of give a brief rundown, and now's like a good stopping point. And I took notes because some of these are like weird words. So they're on like Cleclania, and in book 1, Choosing Theo, a human woman was found. Her name was Jade, I think. And she was kind of brought in. And the way that this world works is there is a lot more men than women. And they basically go to like husbandry school. And then every like 6 months or something like that, there's a chance for someone to get married. And then all of the marriages are like 3-month contracts to get pregnant, and then the men kind of keep the baby, and then the woman goes off and has children with somebody else. There is like fated mates for the Cleclanians, but they were kind of like, it hadn't happened in a long time until the first book in the series. And then the last people like it happened to was the parents of the hero in the first book, who's also brothers with the hero in the second book and fourth book. But so at the end of the first book, Choosing Theo, they find like a research testing facility, and they rescue a bunch of human women who were being tested to see if they were biologically compatible with Cleclanians. Now, Cleclanian is like think of Cleclanians as like human beings, and then there's lots of different kind of races, and some of them have wings and different colored skin and things like that. But the beings that Cleclanians evolved from, also humans evolved from. So technically humans are Cleclanian as well. But so in this book, we have a new race, is what I call him. And this is Feho, and he is Huvitian. It's Huvuita is the name of his planet. So I'm going to go with Huvita and Huvitian. I don't know. They do say that it is Feho. So it is an H, a J that's an H. So I was correct there at least. But so there, and then we kind of see, we got little hints of this in the previous book. So hi, can you help you? We tickle for the kisses. I know, it never fails, huh? Yeah. So at the end of the first book, some women are rescued from this like research facility. And so book 2 is one of Theo's brothers was also like captured and being tested. He was one of the male specimens. And so the second book is, okay, go on through. Okay. Yeah, she's over there now. Okay. So the second book is Theo's brother who's being tested on, and his mate ended up being one of the humans there. And then at the end, like when all the girls are rescued, 2 of them ran off into the woods because they weren't like, they didn't trust that whoever was rescuing them were actually good guys. So one of them was like, I'm going to go off and try to survive in the woods by myself. And then somebody else went with them. And that's Lily and Alex. And those are the heroines in books 3 and 4. So this is book 5. And so now we're with the other women that were rescued that have been living in the Pearl Temple, which is like a safe spot for them to go without being bombarded by all of the male Cleclanians. And they're in Tremanta, which is like the main city. So they separate them as cities, but they're pretty much like, they're called cities, but the way that they're run is more like continents here. And then the races tend to usually stick to their own cities. But Huvita, where Feho's from, is actually a different world. So, and he is, oh my goodness, you just are causing a mess here, cat. Now she's right here. You can see her ear right here. So he is like a trader kind of a person, and there are rumors of him doing illegal trades and being a smuggler and pirating and things like there's a lot of different rumors, and they are somewhat true, but it looks like, so there is a lady, I forgot to write her name down, but her name starts with a K, Clarina, something like that. He used to work for her. And then he decided, I'm going to go try to get to Tremanta and become a citizen of Tremanta. And then I can get access to like a larger ship and larger crew and better jobs and things like that. And the Queen of Tremanta ended up kind of approaching him. And now he is still doing jobs for this Huvitian, but he's doing it as like a spy. And so he's working with the Queen of Tremanta. Also interesting, so they have like birth lines is what they call them. You can kind of see them on the cat. No, on the cover that's here over the cat. Can I help you? Yeah, you're in my way. Okay. You're just gonna stand here? Hi. Okay. So, oh gosh. Yeah, you just gotta walk through again. Cat. Anyway. Gosh, she's so distracting sometimes. Oh, so I was saying, so this girl they have like birth lines, which you can kind of see on the cover. And I guess they're like super sensitive. And this other Huvitian has wings. And Feiho kind of remarked on being made fun of as a child, and he doesn't have his wings. So I don't know if his wings will show up in this book, if that'll be like a way of like mate markings or something, or if he just doesn't have wings. Because we haven't really seen much of his race before outside of him in the background of previous books. I'm not sure how this is gonna, like, I kind of want him to get his wings because that would be super cool. But I'm really loving it. I love getting back into this world. I love the uniqueness that Victoria Aveline writes alien romance with. It's so good. It's so good. But anyway, so our heroine is Vanessa, and she is one of the ones that really wanted to go back to Earth. So Earth is considered like level 4 or a class 4 planet, which means that they haven't, like, they've discovered space travel, but not far space travel or whatever they call it. So nobody who's like accepted into the like world ordinance or whatever isn't allowed to go there and come back, because they have to wait for Earth to be able to have like long distance space travel before they'll accept them into it and start like bringing them into the fold of like the universe kind of a thing. So she is trying to get back to Earth, and like other people have family, but she has a sister, and they were raised in a foster care situation. And then when her older sister was old enough that she was kind of taken out of the system, she immediately got like custody of Vanessa. So it's Julie and Vanessa. And they just, they scrimped and they made do, and they weren't super rich, and they just had to like buy the essentials and things like that. But Vanessa's like very tough, and she really just wants to get back home to see her sister, even more so because the last time she saw her sister before she was kidnapped, they got into an argument, and she hasn't said what was said, but she said that unforgivable things were said. So part of her feels guilt, and she's been kind of in a really deep depression for the last few weeks here on Cleclania, and she's also feeling guilt towards Feiho, because it's known that as soon as he was able to compete in the marriage trials, that he's been in every single one he could be in if he was on planet, and he has never gotten chosen before. And he so very much wants a wife and a family. So I can already kind of see the angst that's coming, because he keeps talking about how everyone just keeps using him, and he's a pawn for everybody's plans, for the queen, for this Huvitian, and he just wants... He's like, I just want to make my wife happy, and I just want to get through this last run okay. Hopefully I can get whatever we need for the queen to move against this other person that he's like spying against. And he goes, and I just want to convince Vanessa that she will be my wife and to stay with me for a long-term marriage, and maybe we can have a kid. Like, he literally just said that. He goes, maybe we can have a kid. But what he doesn't know is that she's using him because one of Theo's brothers, I don't know, one of the heroes from one of the previous books, which is most likely one of Theo's brothers, because there are two of the three that are not Theo, has set up like someone shady that she can meet up at one of the ports, and then he can take her back to Earth. But we just found out that, God, I should have known, Kay, we're just going to call her Kay, this other Huvitian. She is kind of angry with Feiho that he actually found a wife, because that means that she can't have him under her thumb as much as she wants. And then she also, what do you want? Cat? What do you want? Don't just sit there and meow at me. Yeah. I swear. She's like, just talk to me, Mommy. Mm-hmm. When I say I have a screamer, I have a screamer. See, she just proved my point. Yeah. You're being loud. Anyway. I don't see. She's like the most distracting cat ever. We've gone through all my notes, and I have no idea what I was talking about. You distracted me. Oh, but so he's supposed to pick up some cargo, and he doesn't know what kind of cargo it is that he's picking up for this woman. So, really? Do you have to step on that? And then, so now she's called and she says the price is doubled, but you have to get there sooner. So you have to cut out half of your stops. And he's like, I'm going to ruin, like, it needs to look like I'm doing this properly and I'm not just out for an illegal run. And I'm going to lose or anger a lot of these people that I've been able to make connections and good connections with if I start skipping all of these ports. And she's like, you'll get paid double. So I'm sensing that one of the ports that is going to get skipped is going to be the one that Vanessa needs to get to, and she might not know it. We've also learned that a lot of the ports you need like biosuits, which is basically like astronaut suits kind of a thing to help acclimate to atmospheres that aren't your own. And that most places they'll have to wear these biosuits. But that in each of the ports there's like little room and pod areas where that have your atmosphere and sell food from your region. And then so when you're in that room, you can take off your biosuit and have food that you like know that you like kind of a thing or can eat. So that's super interesting. But I'm really enjoying this so far. Like, I really love Cleclania, and I really loved the third book, Saving Veraco, because we got to see one of the cities that's not Tremanta. Really? Again? My goodness. She's just walking in circles around the tripod. And then we also got to see one of the areas as well in Tempting Ozed, which is book 4. But that area, like, because there's like a council in Tremanta when the humans were found with like delegates from most of the other places. But I feel like the city that they were in Tempting Ozed didn't have someone there. And we got to see Rhaego again, who looks like, think like a winged devil kind of a person. But he's just like a big teddy bear. And I really, really hope that he gets a book. And it seems like there might be something between Izzo and Daisy. And Izzo, I think, is the remaining brother of Theo that doesn't have a book. But, and Theo also has a sister. But she already has a husband. And she had a husband in the first book because she helps Jade kind of acclimate. But I don't know what's going on there. Because I guess Izzo and Daisy were getting close and like maybe dating-ish, or at least like kind of spending time together. And then Izzo's mate marks didn't appear, and so he was kind of starting to get disappointed that the mate marks weren't appearing. And then he kind of pushed that disappointment onto Daisy, so now they aren't really together anymore. So that seems like a weird situation. There's also Rena, and she's kind of like the hippie human, and it sounds like she might be connecting with Zykus, who's one of the like helper people that helps out with the marriage trials and helps explain to the human woman what needs to be done and what the rules are and all of that stuff. So there's a lot, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm definitely going to read at least till 10 tonight. I'm hoping to get at least halfway through, but we'll see. I'm starting now that I'm like back in it, because it took a little bit for me to start remembering everything and some of the terminology, but now that I'm like in it, I'm starting to fly through it a little bit quicker. But I thought this would be a good place to stop and kind of do an update and to kind of sum up what's happened so far, because now they're on their ship, on his spaceship. So now they're gonna start traveling and leaving Cleclania, and I'm sure things are gonna start happening now. But yeah, I'm super loving it. I'm very excited. If you're looking for a unique and like longer alien romance, I feel like these are in the like 300, a couple of them were in the like lower 400 page ranges. They're so good, and they're in Kindle Unlimited, and I have the first four in paperback. I don't know if I've said that yet, and they're absolutely gorgeous. Maybe when I wrap up using Feiho, I'll pull them off my shelf and I'll show them to you, because Saving Veraco is one of my favorite covers, and the back and the like alien landscape that's there is so pretty. Oh, I can't wait to have Using Feiho in paperback too. I just love her covers. But so yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and then go to bed, and I will probably update you tomorrow in the morning, hopefully, if I have a little bit of extra time before I have to go in for work. But yeah, I'm gonna grab Cheese. She's over pouting at yeah, I'm talking about you. She's over pouting at the bottom corner of the bed. So I'll grab her and put her back in her bed right here. And then I will see you all soon. Have a good night. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I hope you got the day off of work. I did not, but that's okay. I just got home. And I'm slightly in a mood. I kind of went on a little bit of rampage. Roommate problems. But yeah. So I have a couple of things I want to do tonight. Hopefully it won't take too long. So first off, we'll talk about Using Feiho by Victoria Aveline. I am 63% in. I'm in the middle of the chapter, but it had like the little ellipses, stars things. So it was like a good stopping point last night because I was getting tired. And I wrote down that lady's name. Clinara, Klinara. So she's the one that's like using Feiho to do bad things. So shortly after I updated, it was before we hit 40%, Feiho actually found out about Vanessa's plans to go back to Earth. And he was really upset, as expected. It never fails. It never fails. But she's like this even when I don't record, so it's not really that different. She's like this all the time. But so he found out, and they fought, and it was so heart-wrenching because I could see both sides. And he didn't really kind of trust her. And then he has like his first mate, kind of. He considers it one of his only friends. Do not knock over your water dish. You're being naughty. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. But so they go to meet someone to get some of the like magnetic crystals that they use in Tremonta and on like the main planet that they're from. And even though they're in a different port, not Julie, Vanessa is hoping to use that as a way to at least call back to some of the other women. I think it's Alice who's been the one that's helping her to try to figure out where she can meet this person who's supposed to take her to Earth, kind of a thing. And then maybe she can hide out on in this port area until he can get there. The first mate dude, Uja, actually ends up kind of helping her because he thinks that she's, like, he sees what it's doing to Feiho, and in his friendly way, he's hoping that it will help get him out of the dumps, kind of a thing. And he actually helps her escape, and he gives her directions to someone who, if you give them enough credits, they'll take you to a level 4 planet. So she tries to escape. Feiho, of course, catches her, and he had stolen her credits. He pickpocketed her and then put like a tracking in her pocket instead. So he comes across her, and she doesn't have the credits, so the person doesn't let her inside the house. And then she runs into this weird, like, ooze, slime, sludgy kind of creature, and their stuff will like drug you, the like ooze that they're made out of, or slime, or at least their outer coating. But because the person that she ran into was a female, and she was like frightened and surprised because she wasn't looking when she ran into her, she like turned around to run from Feiho and smack dabbed into this person. It was like super potent, so she was paralyzed. So Feiho takes her back, helps her heal, and while her body is going through the healing and purging the drug, and she's having fevers and delirious and kind of a thing, she finally opens up to him about what's going on with her sister. So her sister, I guess, had a boyfriend. I don't remember how long-term they were, but she ended up having a baby with this boyfriend, and the husband, or the boyfriend, kind of took off. I guess he's not a super good guy. And then we also find out that their mother passed away from a brain tumor, and so their big fight was Julie telling Vanessa that she has a brain tumor and asking her, if something happens, to take custody of her daughter so she doesn't end up going to her birth father, because he's not a good guy and probably won't actually take care of her. And in her hurt and her grief of finding out that there's a good chance her sister is going to die, she says that she doesn't want the daughter, and she just like freaks out and she acts out emotionally, which is totally understandable because that's really heavy news. And maybe it could have been brought up a little bit better, but we just kind of get it from Vanessa's point of view, so we don't exactly know what happened there. But she's talking about when she left, she immediately was like, oh God, I'll go back tomorrow. I'll apologize. I'll let her know I will take her daughter. And she keeps talking about like she needs to get back before her sister dies. And I was kind of assuming it was because of space travel time, that when she gets back, it might not be the same time that they left in because of how space travel might work in this world. But no, it's because her sister has a brain tumor. And she needs to get back to not only see her sister, but take custody of her daughter if need be. She's also hoping, and she mentions at some point that she's disappointed that Feiho doesn't have the type of like medical tubing that they had in Tremanta in his ship, because she was hoping she could convince her sister to come on and get healed. And then maybe once she's healed, she will travel with them back to Tremanta, kind of a thing, or at least get healed. So that was very hard to read. So they're both, he's understandable, but he's hurt, and she's dealing with her grief. And she also opens up about her guilt towards Feiho for using him, and she knows how much she wants a wife, kind of a thing. And so it was it was angsty, but it was so well done. This is angst that I can handle because it's not angsty for too long. You understand both sides of the angst, and it's at least being worked through after a little bit of, okay, I need to calm down and reassess, kind of a thing. We also find out that Feiho isn't quite Huishan, so he is the only like fetus to survive genetic, I guess, fertilization. I guess researchers in Huisha found a bunch of like DNA. I don't know how prehistoric, but it's like definitely like those creatures probably don't exist anymore. And so they were trying to combine different ones and see what would happen and what would be viable offspring kind of a thing, and he's the only one that survived. And so that's probably why he doesn't have wings. So I'm guessing he's not going to have wings, but he does have gills, which is super cool. So, and like water is his safe space. That's where he goes. And because he has gills, he can just sit at the bottom. Like when he was training at the research facility, he would go and swim in the ocean, and then he would just sink to where they couldn't reach him. And then he would find like a little bit of escape. And that's eventually how he did escape, but that's how he ended up with Clenara's father. We also find out that he killed Clenara's father, and that's part of why she has him under her thumb. Especially because he's not like attracted to her anymore. So I don't know if she'd asked him to kill her father or not, but she's kind of using that as leverage against him. We also found out that why Uja kind of pushed Vanessa away to help Feiho is because the way that Feiho was acting, Uja has seen in the past that he ends up going back to Clenara and kind of spiraling down that horrible relationship again, because he just wants her approval so much, but she will never ever give approval. And they kind of discussed like they don't think she can even feel love or affection like a normal creature. So that was kind of interesting too. We also but anyway, so he's sitting at the bottom of his pool in his spaceship, and she goes in to talk to him because after she had like been so vulnerable with him, she kind of pulled back and tried to push him away, and she wanted to apologize. So after she kind of thought about it and she couldn't take it anymore and she thought he'd be right back, she goes out in search of him. She finds him sitting in the bottom of the pool. She thinks he drowns. She jumps in to try to save him. She almost drowns. He saves her, and then they get some steamy time, and then his mate marks show up. So they are mates. And we're only 60% of the way in. I feel like in the other books, the mate marks showed up later in the book, which is fine. But I love that they're earlier in this book. And so they didn't go all the way, so to speak, but they did definitely have some very good steamy times. And the mate mark shows up, and then Uja is banging on the door because Clenara has kind of needed to speed up him getting this cargo again. And he needs to get there right away, and she's trying to control him. And they need to, they're like kind of trying to rush. And then, God, where did I stop? So his mate marks just appeared, and they're both kind of like freaking out, and he's really worried that she's going to pull away. And he's like, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. And then Uja starts banging on the door, and there's something wrong with the ship. And so they need to make port, and the closest port that they're at has to have the captain be like the one leading into and like taking charge of everything. They want him front and center, and they want him like on the comms talking to everybody. So he has to leave her in that moment that he's getting his mate marks. And she's just like, I want to talk right now. We need to discuss this. And he's like, I know, but I have to do this. And he goes, and once they hear like everything from Uja, not just him banging on the door, he's like, I have to take care of this, but then we'll talk. He's like, go to the room and wait for me. I'll be there as soon as I can. So I'm nervous on what's going to happen. I'm kind of thinking she's going to get kidnapped by Clenara's two people that she kind of forced Feiho to add to his ship this time and add to his crew. There's been issues with one of them already where he was like touching her and grabbing her hand, and she was like trying to pull it off. And then Feiho ended up like smashing his head into the table because they were like in the mess hall kind of area. And it like chopped off part of his bone, which this creature species is very like, that's a big deal. They're very vain about their horns. And then he stabs like the chunk of his horn that came off, the tip of it, although it's more than a tip. It sounds like it's quite a few inches. He stabs it through his hand into the table. So that was super fun. And I loved kind of seeing his like badass come out. And she got afraid of him at that point, and he's just like, I didn't want to do it. I don't like doing it, but I have to do this so that they respect me as a captain and the decisions that I make, especially when it comes to like more threatening times kind of a thing. But I'm really enjoying it.
And it was such a bad place to stop, but it was also a good place to stop because it was like POVs were changing or something. It had like the little, like I said, the little stars that we were moving on. So, and I was getting really tired and I couldn't really keep my eyes open anymore. So there's that. I was hoping to finish it tonight and then maybe pick up a novella so I can at least get 3 books read for the readathon. But I was on Instagram today at work and saw that Heather from Hia Booktube posted a thing that the Kate Daniels readathon or read-along live was tonight, and I thought it was on Friday. Thank goodness I read the books last week. I didn't see any other like notification that the date had changed before this. So I don't know if I'm just not following them in the right spots, but I follow them all on YouTube. I think I follow them all on Twitter or on Instagram. So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but so that starts at 6:30 my time. So I've got like half an ish hour to do things. And then I'm probably going to work on editing my vlog while that's on. And then I want to try to finish using Feiho tonight. And then maybe pick up a novella. I'm kind of thinking, I put small town as a prompt on my readathon bingo board. And I don't know if I have any small town novellas. I guess technically that's the 5th book in the Miles family is small town. But I might look and see if I have a Simply Harbor or not. Simply Harbor? Lucky Harbor. The 1st book is Simply Irresistible. But in the Lucky Harbor series, I just reread the 1st book last year. That's by Jill Shalvis. So I might look and see if there's like a 1.5 novella in that I either can reread or haven't picked up, or just see if one of the small town romance series I has a novella I haven't gotten to. Otherwise, I'm probably going to pick up A Very Beery New Year by Jackie Lau. But I will update when I finish using Feiho and decide on what I'm reading next. So, that's done. Now my calendar. Which I don't know if you guys care about the calendar. I love doing the calendar. I like filming the calendar. So let me know below if you'd rather me do my reading vlogs and my calendar vlogs separate. Or if you want like me to try to do like time tags so you can just skip past the calendar stuff. But I love it. I don't think I've showed it this time, but I want to try to show it like once every vlog. But here is, so the calendar that we're doing is the Quest Calendar 2022, The Gates of Terralon. This is by Sundial Games. I backed it on Kickstarter last year, and I think this is the 2nd year that they're doing it. So on Saturday, because they do Saturday and Sunday together, we fought and defeated this like spider guardian demon thing. So we will see what today is for Monday. And we did get the Zenith Blom together. So here is Monday. I'm guessing that's the bomb. It looks really cool. It looks almost like, I just lost what they're called. Not the star fruit, but like the special fruits that give you powers in One Piece. I don't remember what they're called, but they're like the fruits that you eat, and then they're the ones that give you the powers. So let's see what it says. With the hideous spider creature dispatched, you look toward the Zenith Bomb. It was not disturbed in the fight. It is only moments away from going off, and you have no time to escape the blast radius. You let out a sigh of relief as you know your mission was successful, and you will be taking down this gate as you go out. The hordes of demons will no longer be able to travel to other worlds, but will forever be confined here on the infernal plane. That's it. I had a feeling because they kept talking about final mission, but I didn't want to die. That's sad. Okay. I'm going to see what it says on the back of the previous day. Oh, there is stuff on the back. So let's see what it says. End of prologue. You have finished the introduction to the Gates of Terralon. The remainder of the story will continue as you will soon have a chance to choose your own hero. This prologue did not touch on all of the elements of gameplay that you will encounter throughout the year. We suggest taking another glance at the rules or having them nearby for reference. you can always reach out to Sundial Games for questions and it has their website. So that's cool. I knew like on the 18th, after the 18th was all the character sheets in the calendar because I kind of looked to see when the prologue might end. So we have that soon. I did see that they like posted a Kickstarter update that they got the custom hero rules mostly figured out. I have it still in my email, but I don't know if I'm going to create my own character or not. I don't know how soon we have to choose a character, but so there's that. So Commander Royce Barrington, here we are. Sacrificed his life for the good of all mankind. I don't know if everybody in this world is man, but for this world and all of universe. Now that I've rambled on and it's 6:30, I'm gonna jump on the live show with Megan, who's Meowth Vader, Steph from Novelty Corner, and Heather from Hia Booktubes to talk about the Kate Daniel Readathon or Read Along. So that was books, Magic Shifts, Magic Binds, and then the novella Magic Stars. And then I'll probably read the rest of the night, but I will be in touch when I have more to say. I'll see you soon. Bye. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, January 18th. It's about 8:30 in the evening. I haven't really read much today, but I wanted to do a couple of updates. So first off, I did finish using Feiho last night. So I just got it in the nick of the time for the Romance Takeover Readathon. My wrap-up went up today on my blog post. Since I only read 2 books for it, it wasn't much to wrap up, but here's my final bingo board. That's what this is called, is a bingo board. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Oh, it was so good. So good. So when we last left, they had just gotten the mate marks, and he had to go deal with whatever map issues or like travel, whatever issues there were with the ship that they needed to stop at this port to get fixed. I think like the maps were corrupted or something like that, so they had to get new map files. But anyway, so then they get back, and Feiho, you can tell, is just waiting for her to just completely freak out. And he, at this point, has already decided, even before the mate marks showed up, to take her back to Earth. But she doesn't know this. But when he comes in after dealing with all this and they can finally get together again, it was magic. And don't mind, I have a sty. I had an appointment to get caught up on my vaccines tonight after work. So when I was there, I got a sty compress. So hopefully that'll help things, just to at least keep the swelling down. It doesn't like hurt. It looks horrendous. But anyway. But so he comes in, and it's like they both don't know what to say. And she's just like, hear me out. She goes, I know what it'll do to you to have a mate. And while I don't feel the urges of the mating as strongly as male Cleclanians do, I do feel some connection. Like I feel that there is something like magical or more about our connection. It's not just I'm in love with you kind of a thing. And so she's like, here are the options. She says, I can make my way back to Earth, try to convince my sister Julie and Mia to come with me, or you can go back with me. But no matter what, I'm coming back to you. Whether you take me there or I go there by myself, I'm coming back to you. And she's and he starts to say something, and she stops him, and she's just like, we need to come to a decision and make a plan. And everything in Feiho just stops, and he says, she said we? And then he loses control, and they have really good steamy times. He had what does he call them? Modifications done. He has a piercing and it vibrates and it grows a weird protrusion, I guess. It's like a little ball or I don't know. It was described really weird. But it was like so steamy. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but in Cleclania, at least for most Cleclanians, it's kind of like flipped to how humans are, where men can have multiple orgasms and don't need much like rest time in between, but women can only have like one and then they have to wait usually a few hours before they're like ready to go again, kind of a thing. So the Cleclanian males and the human women together is just, they're always very long, very spicy, very fun times. So that was super sweet. And just, I loved that the intimate connection between them just made everything build so much more. It was so good. So good. I loved it. And there's a second steamy time where he like pulls out his like little remote control and Vanessa takes it from him and she's just like, no, I want you. I just want to feel you. None of these modifications, none of this vibrating stuff, just you. Although I guess he does have implants that kind of gives him weird ridges. But what's funny is a lot of these modifications he got based off of what has been learned about human women. So his modifications are made to please a human woman. So that's super fun and I loved it. We also find out, and I kind of had a feeling, the cargo was human women. So there's 12 more human women found. And Julie and Mia is Julie's daughter, end up coming back with Vanessa. And it's like super simple and super easy. And that was in the epilogue. But Vanessa's like, this is too easy. This is too easy. This is too easy. But then once Julie kind of realizes that she can heal her, that makes her decision because she doesn't want to leave her daughter when she's so young. And her daughter's like obsessed with aliens. And so she like makes like friends with all the aliens. And like a lot of the most scariest looking ones, she just like is putty in her little girl hands. And it's so good. I'm hoping Julie gets a book. I would love like a future generation for Mia to get a book. I'm wondering if we'll see any of these other 12 women or if we'll stick to like the women that were rescued in the first section before, in the first book. So I don't know. Part of me is like, that's a lot of women. But then at the same time, I'm like, Ice Planet Barbarians has 20 books and then a spin-off series that is like over 10 already. So it can be done. And I will read anything Victoria Aveline writes at this point. It is so, I just love the way that she writes and the uniqueness of her mind. I can't wait for more. I can't wait for more. There's no really hints or teasers in this one on who's going to be next. But yeah, so every time I see her name in my email inbox and with a new newsletter, I am going to be clicking that so freaking quickly to figure out who the next book is. I really want it to be Rhaego. I love... What if it's Rhaego and Julie? I don't know. I love Rhaego and he's such a teddy bear. And I feel like Mia would really like him too. I don't know. But anyway, I'll stop gushing. If you like alien romance and sci-fi romance, definitely try Victoria Aveline. They're all on Kindle Unlimited. I was going to show you the books. I was going to show you the paperback books. I did not pull them out. I'm like super excited. Oh, these books are so gorgeous. So gorgeous. Okay, so the first 3 are shiny and the third one is matte, or the fourth one is matte. So here is Choosing Theo. Oh my gosh. Pull it back far enough here. Oh, isn't that so pretty? In the back of his, it's got like space alleyway kind of a thing. Oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. So then we have book 2, which is Freeing Luca. Oh, look at this. And these are their mate marks. Oh, it's so pretty. And then the back of his is just kind of like nebula space kind of stuff. And then book 3, which has my favorite back so far, is Saving Baraka. Plus I love the color of his skin tone, this like really pretty like teal green kind of a color. Super pretty. And then the back, it's like this gorgeous alien landscape. Oh, it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. And it goes all the way down, but oh, I don't know why. It's just, oh, I love it. I love it. It's the kind of stuff. And then this was Matt, and this one's book 4, so Tempting Ozed. And then the back of his is kind of got trees and a little bit more abstract, because the city that they end up going to, Sauven, Sauven, is like they're built in the trees. So it's got like the trees. Oh, I love these books. They're so pretty. I can't wait to see using Feiho in paperback, especially because it has like more purpley vibes. Like these ones have a little bit of purple. Like Freeing Luca is kind of a pinky purple, or I guess maybe like a bluey purple. I don't know, but yeah. So that's those. They're just so gorgeous. I have them in the front of my bottom shelf because my bottom shelf of my bookshelf in here is big, like trade or indie published sized fantasy and paranormal books and sci-fi. And so these ones are more in the front so I can see them easier. I don't know why. There we go. It just didn't want to focus on me, but it's like, here's your face, but I'm not going to focus. But yeah, those are super pretty. So 5 stars. I also was able to using Feiho for Winter's Kiss in the first board as new release. So I only have 4 prompts left to finish the first board of Winter's Kiss. I don't have too much tonight. Tonight I didn't have many plans outside of my Walgreens appointment, but tomorrow night the Avs play at 8 o'clock because they're in California, so it's 8 o'clock my time, which is so freaking late. That means the game probably won't be over till like 11 o'clock, let alone post games and post games, but whatever. And then so that's against the Anaheim Ducks, and then they're doing a back-to-back. So Thursday, they'll be in Los Angeles playing the Kings, and that game's at 7:30. I don't like the late games, but at the same time, I can get home and have time to do stuff before the game starts, so I might be able to read a little bit before then. Thursday is also Rake Appreciation Society, and we're going to be talking about Ravishing the Heiress, so I'm really excited to see what... That's going to be such a good conversation because so many people are like rating it so widely. So it'll be fun. I can't wait. I need to do my calendar. But I also got book mail. And look who it's from. Kate Ossel. So I discovered Kate Ossel last year. Jen, the Book Refuge, read her Mafia romance, A Bullet Between Us, and recommended it, and so I picked it up for the Mafia Romance Readathon. Loved it. Bought a copy, and I actually pulled it out here because here's the original one. And it's the Moretti crime family. I can't wait for book 2. Oh, it's just, isn't it so pretty? This is one of my favorite Mafia romances ever. It is just, I love the way that like grief and trauma is discussed in here, and I just, it is so good. It is so good. I immediately bought a copy of this. I also read one of the J.C. Geisinger books that I also bought at the same time right away. But near the end of last year, I want to say in November, I saw that there was going to be a special edition cover for it in the, I want to say, Dark and Quirky crate that had a different cover, and I was super intrigued by it. But a lot of the other authors I had never heard of, and that's the one thing I don't like about book boxes. Like, I like the Hello Lovely one because they send you ebook cards, or at least for the surprise box, because I'm very picky about the books that I get in paperback because I am limited on space right now, and I'm trying to be more mindful in how I collect my books. Look at it. It's so pretty. I just took off. There was the thing wrapped around it, and then there's lots of goodies too. So it looks like we have a Moretti Crime Family sticker. Oh, there's so much detail. These will definitely be being turned into magnets and being stuck on my bookshelf. And then we have a Bullet Between Us sticker. Oh, I just love the bullet and the roses in the skull, and I'm not even a big skull person. And then a business card, which is super pretty. Heck, I might even turn that into something as well. And then it looks like a postcard. Oh my gosh, it's a postcard. It says Miami on it. It says, "Thank you for reading on behalf of Miami's underworld. You are now an associate to our familia. Report to your capo the first of the month. Stay dangerous, Kay Dossel." Oh my gosh, I love this. Especially when they're like indie authors and they like throw extra swag, and then this bookmark, "In this world there are no heroes." And then it's got like hands and flowers. And then on the back it says the Moretti Crime Family. I'm so excited. Okay. So now we'll open this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've seen pictures of it. But when I saw that, anyway, back to what I was saying. So I saw that I entered to win a copy of it in like all the Instagram posts that they were doing when they announced it. And then I didn't end up winning. So of course I had to sign up. Or then I saw that Kay Dossel had some available on her website that you could buy, so you didn't have to go through the Dark and Quirky crate. My recycling's back there. Oh my god. So the back. I'm trying not to look at it yet. Oh my gosh. Look at those roses. That's super pretty. Okay, are we ready? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, it is so pretty. Oh, and it's got the real cover on the inside. Oh my gosh. Oh, it is so pretty. And like gory, but oh, look at this. She's got like the bloody fingernails, and then it's got the scar on her neck with like her stitches. Let's see if you can. It's very dark, but oh my gosh. And then it's signed, and then they have the original cover in here. But so I thought if I'm going to buy it, I'm definitely going to buy it from her, so it's signed. So now I have both versions. I usually don't like to buy multiple versions of books, but when I saw this, and this book just slayed me. This is, like I said, it's my favorite Mafia romance, and I'm definitely going to do a Mafia Monday Instagram post on this next Monday to show the joy. Although the only thing is it's a little bit damaged in the bottom. It's a little bit bent, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still, it's worth it. Oh my gosh. If you can't tell, I'm so excited. And then this is just my receipt. So yeah. Happy book mail. Gosh, I love it. Oh, I love getting fun books like that, especially when you can order them from the author. So I feel like more money goes to them that way. Because I just bought it off her website, not via Amazon or somebody else. But yeah, so that was fun mail for today. So we're going to do our calendar real quick. And then I'm going to finish loading last week's vlog up because that'll go up tomorrow morning. So I just want to make sure that everything is kosher. And then I will figure out what I want to read and update you once I have that set. But let's do the calendar first. So yesterday we died. The bomb went off and we died. We are no longer Commander Royce Barrington. And the prologue is over. So let's see what happens next. Oh, there's like a little traveler dude. There we go. I'm trying to like get it close enough that it's not glaring, but far enough away that it focuses. But if it's too close, it doesn't want to focus. But anyway. Hello, traveler. I'm Seth. I'd wager a guess you are headed to Greycliff for the annual festival and tournament of lords. I go every year, but I don't compete. 'Tis too dangerous for my blood, but I sell a few trinkets and enjoy the food and games. You look like you could fare well in the tournament. I bet you might even have a chance to win. Eh? Pulling out the Canadian there. Eh? I enjoy watching. You know, it's always nice to have a companion while on the road. I've been walking for a couple of days now. Enough about me. Tell me about yourself. Okay. Now is your chance to select your hero that you will play as for the remainder of the year. Take today to look over the characters presented throughout the next couple of pages and pick one. You may want to visit the website to view their higher levels. And then on the back of yesterday's, it says there are 6 different heroes you can choose to play as. Read each of them, and when you are ready, pick one. Each of them progresses and gets stronger when they level up throughout the year. You can find more info on them in the separate hero book and on the website. On the website, you will also find advanced instructions on how to build your own custom hero if you choose to do so. This game is meant to be played solo with one character. Some people choose to play together or with a couple of heroes. This can be done if you play in parallel, meaning that each hero faces the same challenges, fights the same monsters, and resolves the same roles separately. If somebody else wanted to play with me, you are more than welcome to do so. Just reach out if you want to play like concurrent with me, but I think, so after him, there's nothing here. And then these are our characters. And the character sheets are on the back, like with Royce. But I'm going to leave them there. Because I don't think I've showed it this week. But I got like the deluxe version. I don't remember what exactly I got. But I got the Hero Book Companion. So this has all of our characters in here. Inventory sheet. So inventory sheet. And all of our characters. So I'm going to do a quick read down of the characters. And then try to narrow it down. If I can't decide, maybe I'll do an Instagram poll to see what people are interested. But let's go. Okay, so the first one is Syntax 12B047-2. Looks like a cyborgy dude. I call myself Syntax. I find life forms to be quite fascinating. They are so vulnerable. That fact drives them to make odd decisions. I suppose putting myself in danger may help me understand them better. It is also fun. Who knew life forms could be so entertaining? In my quest to better understand life, I have found that most forms are suited to a specific person. Perhaps I will find mine. For now, I enjoy tinkering and experimenting with my own limitations. Syntax was created as a bodyguard by a powerful wizard. When the wizard died, Syntax spent ages locked in a lab occupied with questions about the world. When a burglar found and looted its master's place, Syntax finally left to seek out answers. Cool. So then he's got level 1, level 2, Looks like level 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so it looks like it goes up to level 6. So I'm not gonna look at the higher levels. I'm just gonna pick based off of kind of like their backstory and who I want to play as a character. I always like to, at least when I choose my characters or come up with a character idea, I like to go more off of the character than off of the stats. But then once I have my character, I like to amp up my stats as much as I can to help make them the best that they can be in what I think that they would, like, are areas that they would be the best at, kind of a thing. But anyway, so option number 2 is Sir Gareth Stallworth, a human cleric. Sir Gareth Stallworth, at your service. I'm tired of watching this world burn while everyone stands idle. I have donned my grandfather's armor, shield, and sword, so that I may stand up with righteousness and rid evil from the land. With the blessing bestowed upon me by Alazadar, the god of law, I shall bring light to the darkness. The world is in pain, and I am here to help with its healing. I do not fear death, for my life is in my God's hands. Gareth's grandfather was a once great warrior of the light. In his old age, he was mugged in the streets and stabbed to death when he wouldn't back down. Gareth donned his grandfather's armor and pledged a vow to Alazadar to seek out and correct injustice. So from he seems kind of like from D&D, he seems like a mix of like a cleric and a paladin with the religion and God worshipping kind of aspect. Interesting. The healing is always nice, but okay, here's our next character, option number 3. Professor Trinicus Wyvern, and he is a Drakon elementalist. Look at him. Oh my god, he's so cool. And he's got like all 4 elements here. Okay, my friends call me Professor. My quest for knowledge often puts me in peril, for no knowledge worthy of being sought is found without consequence. Do not let my appearance fool you. I am not a monster to be feared. My mind is. I've spent ages turning my mind, and with it I have mastered command of the elements. I shall use this power in my journey to seek and give knowledge freely with the world. Trinicus was always treated as a monster, a common occurrence for his people. Despite this, it was always in his heart to be kind and fair. Where others of his race would retaliate in violence, Trinicus sought understanding. This pursuit elevated him to be the master of powers that he is now. Okay. Professors in the running. Professor Trinicus. I love that. Trinicus. Uh-oh. Okay, our next option. Savani Moonchaser. Feline monk. I might have to be a cat person. And she's a monk. One of my favorite characters ever that I created is Tia, and I used her for Pathfinder Society. And she is a monk. And she punched an ooze to smithereens. That's not normally doable. Oh my god, I haven't played Tia in so long, but Tia is one of those characters that's like close to my heart, as well as Coventrina. She was my first character I ever created, and that was for D&D 3.5, and she was a paladin for... I can't remember the D&D god, but the equivalent is Sarenrae in Pathfinder. I played more Pathfinder than D&D 3.5. But, so Coventrina is like my first character, so she always has a place in my heart. But Tia is... And she's a human monk, and she just... I have a whole little Tupperware box that's just her dice, because she has all these crazy things, and then... when my friend Curtis, who was a lot of the times our DM, he has a cleric, Ramsey. and he would give her a bit of luck. So then she'd have to roll 2d20s on top of her like billions of attack rolls. So I had like a whole set of dice made just for Tia so that I would not be confused. And they're all color coded for each attack roll. I went all out. But anyway, let's read about Savani. Savani here. How may I help you? There's nothing more rewarding in this world than balance. Life demands a certain equilibrium to be stable, and this sort of stability must often be fought for. It is fairness and freedom that I seek. True balance gives one perfect freedom. To be truly free, you must have mastery over both your body and mind, as I do. I have trained many years to achieve such balance and control. Savani was born into a wealthy family, and as the runt of the litter, she wanted for nothing and could do as she pleased, but soon grew tired of that lifestyle. She left in search of something more satisfying, eventually finding fulfillment in the Snow Lion Monastery and its teachings. She then set out to share the wisdom she had learned with the world. So I connect a little bit more with Professor Trinicus, like in his backstory and his character makeup. But she's a feline monk. Okay. Let's see who else. Let's see what our other options are. Whoa. Okay. Morian Corvus, avian necromancer. He looks like he's maybe crow. I have many names. You may call me Morian. Why are the dark arts always seen as evil? Good or bad isn't inherently built into magic. I may have used these skills for purposes of questionable intent, but I have used them for noble deeds as well. Like the art of the blade, it is all in how you use the knowledge. There's a lot we can learn from studying these forms. Unfortunately, I seem to be the only one who thinks so. Morian was born with a unique gift. As a hatchling, he pushed a younger sibling out of the nest to see what would happen. When she died from the fall, he was there to bring her back from the dead. He's been fascinated with death ever since. And so the last one is Asmira the Reckless, a half-demon swashbuckler. Ooh, she's super fun. Never cross swords with Asmira. Life should be an adventure. If it ain't fun, it ain't worth the trouble. And if you're not in trouble, you're not living life properly. This world is yours for the taking, if you are willing to fight for it. I chose to take it with the tip of my sword. No one can outduel me. Many men have tried, and I love making a fool out of them. Trouble seems to always follow Asmira wherever she goes. Perhaps it is her appearance. Perhaps it is because she follows her whims, whatever they may be. She isn't above doing good deeds, though she isn't below doing bad deeds either. Due to this, Asmira has been a lifelong traveler and has never made a home anywhere. She's super cool. They did a really good job creating these characters, and that's it. There's at the end. Thank you for questing, hero. Ooh. I think I gotta go for the feline monk. I like Professor Tyrannicus, but I think I gotta go. Should I go with the kitty? What do you think? Should I go with the kitty? Do you want to look? And she's a gray kitty too. She has like the gray and white stripes, and that's what Cheese's brother looked like, and then she was solid. I think we're gonna be Savani Moonchaser. Feline monk. Are we really surprised? I can play a cat person. So yeah, that's all we have to do today is pick a character. And that was a lot easier. I really like Professor Tyrannicus too, though. But yeah, so I think that's it for now. Looks like I just kind of have to edit all my description and stuff for my YouTube video and get that up for tomorrow. So that'll be week 2's vlog. And then I will figure out what I want to read next. Oh, I also want to point out, I was feeling Marvel today and like dark Marvel. So I wore my Hydra earrings today to match my black shirt because they've got a black background. I don't know. My hair is kind of in the way here, but yeah. And then I wore my Black Widow because I was feeling the black necklace. I got both of these from Kal-El. She does a monthly fandom box. And it's been on pause a couple of months because she's had trouble getting things in a decent amount of time, so she hasn't like charged anything. But the necklaces from the Black Widow box, and these were from, I think, just one of the Marvel boxes. Maybe it was from the Captain America box. But yeah, so I have a lot of fun jewelry. I usually go more fun than pretty, except for my hoops. I found silver hoops at Christmas time, and I really like hoops, but for the longest time, all I could find were gold hoops that I liked. But I much prefer silver jewelry. But yeah. But anyway, I just had to share those because they kind of fit my black mood today. Yeah, so I'm going to get things wrapped up, and I will check back in when I figure out what I'm going to pick up next and let you all know. I'll see you soon. Happy hump day. It is about 3:45 on Wednesday. I just got home from work. We had a crazy ice sleet storm last night, so everything was covered in ice this morning, which was super fun. But a lot of places in town closed early today just because it's been just creating more ice all day, and it just now is kind of switching over to snow. So my boss decided we'll go ahead and close early too, especially so we could get out of there before it started to get dark. So I'm home early. Yay. That means I get a little bit extra time to read before the game starts. The game's on at 8 o'clock tonight, so I have a little bit of time. And tonight it's on one of the national channels. I can't remember which one, but so I won't have all of my post game show stuff, so it'll just be the ones on the radio. But that's okay. But I usually get more reading done during those kinds of games. I also wanted to mention, I just wanted to look up and save the custom character stuff for the quest calendar, just so I had it in case I wanted to replay it or wanted to do 2 simultaneous characters, or just so I would have that information. So I was looking at the PDF, and they have a bunch of other characters that weren't in the hero book on their website. So I'll link it. So their website is linked down below, and then if you look under the 2022 section, there is characters as a tab. So they have a bunch more characters. I wrote down little notes. So there's a half-orc barbarian, a human bard, a half-elf druid, a human paladin, elf sorceress, and gnome thief. And you can download those as PDFs. I downloaded them just so I could save them. But I probably won't be playing any of them, although the half-elf druid did intrigue me. But we're going to stick with our cat person monk. And I'm moving my hands around, and the kitty's all excited. As you can see, the tip of her ear over here. Since it's super chilly out, I went ahead and made some tea. I wanted something cozy, so I went with one of my favorite chais. This is the Bigelow Vanilla Chai. And today I'm using my apple mug. So that's steeping. So while we're talking about the calendar, let's go ahead and do the calendar. So yesterday we picked our character. So I'm going to turn this up so I can see better. Actually, Alexa, turn the light on. Okay. I had to change the lighting so I can see a little better. Okay, so yesterday we ran into this guy. And we are going to be traveling him, and then he asked us who we were. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this, and there's nothing on the back of this. And then what we have next are our characters. But because I bought the hero book, we don't need these. So I'm going to just pull these off. Okay. Okay, and I'll just save these. I've been saving all of my pages. I've just been putting them back in the box. And then we'll use our actual character sheet in the hero book. So this is our character. Okay, you continue down the main road to the city of Greycliff while making small talk with the other traveler, Seth. He shares stories of his hometown of Dawn Hollow. At night, you make a small camp, and Seth pulls out the trinkets he plans to sell. Small wooden pieces of jewelry and figurines of animals he carved himself. He encourages you to compete in the Tournament of Lords, where the top prize is a land in the kingdom and a title to go with it. Okay, determine how much gold you start off with on your journey. Roll 3d6 and record this number as your gold. Okay, that's simple enough. We only have 1d6, so we'll be rolling it 3 times. Okay, so let us see. 3, 5, so 8, and 1 more. Another 5, so 13. Not bad, not bad. So, and since we're in our hero book now, I have erasable markers. So, where do I put gold? I'm going to see if this actually erases. It did. Good. Okay. I was like, oh, I want to test this first, but cool. The blue one at least does. I'm sure they both do, but I always get nervous for things like that. Cool. So there's that. I ended up not picking up anything last night to read. I did spend a long time going through my books. I'm not going to pick up the Smart Women Read Romance book until this coming weekend, so that won't be until next week's vlog. But I was looking at the prompts I have left, and one on the first board of Winter's Kiss, and one of them starts with the letter C. So I went through my paperback books in my library app, and I went through what I had on my Kindle, and then I went through what was on my Goodreads, and I decided to read Calling It. I remember it's Calling It by Jen Doyle, and it's a baseball romance, and I think it's with a librarian. I don't know, this is a new to me author, and I was kind of in a contemporary mood. I thought about picking back up the Miles family, but it doesn't really, I have to stretch it to fit some of the prompts, so I figured I'd at least get some of these more unique ones out of the way and then go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and start Calling It. And I'll be reading that tonight, and I will update you once I've made some progress. And look at that. It's only 7 minutes, and I've got the calendar done and my reading updated. Not that I've read much, but we're doing a lot better today. Yesterday's was way too long, but we went over characters, so that's okay. And things should be shortening up, at least quest calendar wise, because we won't have to choose a character because that was all done yesterday. So, but yeah, I'm super excited. We've got 2 days left after today on this vlog. I'll wrap it up on Friday like normal now that I'm done with readathons, and we will go from there. And that's all I have for now. I will see you all later.
Hello. So it is just about 8 o'clock. And I am at 57% into Calling It by Jen Doyle. This is the first book in her Calling It series. It's so good. I'm really loving this. It's really good. It's baseball, but small town. And so we have Nathan, and he's a super popular catcher. And he just signed with an expansion team in Chicago, and he is getting set up to start next season kind of a thing. This will be their first season, and he got into a really bad car accident, and he doesn't quite remember what happened, but he flipped his SUV over 7 times. It was really scary reading about what happened, and I guess he hit a mom and a kid, and the kid was paralyzed or something, or he's really injured. But so he's struggling with that, and he doesn't remember much just because he lost memory from the accident. But he wasn't drinking or anything. He was pretty sure, but the breathalyzer came back 0. But you know how paparazzi and media people are. They're all talking about how there's like a movement starting that the breathalyzer results were fake, kind of a thing. And it was really heartbreaking to read. And then he also had a fiance, Courtney, and she's like a newsacre, billionaire, trust fund lady. And she was his fiance. And the stress of the accident to him caused her to lose her baby. But then he found out that it wasn't actually their baby. She was sleeping with what was his best friend, and it was actually his baby. So he goes back home to the small town of Inspiration, where he meets Dory. Her full name is Lucinda, but Dory is short for one of her middle names. And she is the youngest of 7, and so she has 6 older brothers. And she's from Boston, and she moved to Inspiration to become the new librarian. The library kind of went into neglect for over a decade, and so when she saw that there was an opening there, she signed up and was super surprised that she got an interview, let alone that she got the job. So it starts out very with her very nervous because this is the first time that she's far away. So they're in Iowa, and then Nate's in Chicago because that's where the baseball team is. But so he walks into his sister Fitz's apartment, and she has been leasing it to Dory. So Dory's in the bath, and she hears someone come in, and she hears it's a guy voice, and so she thinks it's one of her brothers. So she goes running out, and she doesn't have her contacts in, and she didn't grab her glasses because they were in the bathroom, so she doesn't see who it is. But she actually knows Nate. So not only is are her brothers huge sports fans, but so Nate, when he was, I think, in high school, he has a friend group, so it's those 4, but they were part of what they called the dream team in high school, and they played baseball and basketball. And I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the basketball, but they won some sort of state championship or national championship, or went to the nationals or something. And it was right after a tornado took out their school and practice facility and stuff. So they were called the dream team. And so she's actually had a crush on Nate since she was 13 and has followed his career since then. So when she at some point she goes and she calls Fitz because she's there's this person here, and he says DB because that was a nickname between him and his sister. And so she's picked up a baseball bat, and he goes, "That's my bat. It's got my name on it, DB," which is a nickname that Fitz had given him. But so when she calls Fitz, she's "Oh, let me talk to him." And then she goes, gets her glasses, and then she realizes who it is. And so she lets him stay that first night, and he sleeps on the couch. But there's this instant attraction between them that you can just feel, and it is a little insta-lust. And I'm 57% through, and it's only been 5 or 6 days that they've been at least known each other. But they spent 3 whole days together because he showed up to help because now that he's a baseball player, he started a foundation with some of the other Dream Team people to help businesses and help the city Inspiration, which is where it's mostly set in. And hi. No, she's always screaming at me. I forgot what I was saying. You're so distracting. Oh, so anyway, so they have this foundation that they do, and that kind of helps keep the town going and is what allowed the hiring. And then they gave seed money to get the library back in shape, because not only is it derelict, but there was a storm recently that broke some windows and damaged a bunch of the carpet and the shelves, and the books were all waterlogged, and they were throwing them away, and it was really sad. But they just have this connection between them, and they can't stay away from each other, and it's so pretty. And she is very aware who he is, and so I was kind of nervous that would be the thing for the book, is that the third act conflict would be him finding out that she actually has known who he is pretty much the entire time. Like, she didn't at first because she wasn't wearing her glasses. She could just see a vaguely male shape in her house that she didn't recognize the voice of. But that was solved like within 30%. And then there's the threat of his ex-fiance. But that's already been solved. So I don't know what the third act conflict is going to be. If there's not a third act conflict, I'm totally okay with that. We don't need a third act conflict. But I'm really enjoying this. But there is a slight hesitation because he's like all in for Dory. He's like, you're it. You feel different than any other person. I don't just want to sleep with you. I want to just be with you and wake up with you and just talk to you and laugh with you. And he is just head over heels for her. And he keeps like trying to say that he's falling in love with her. And she's just like, shut up, shut up. And he gets that it's fast. And at one point she's like, it's been 4 days. And he's like, it's been 5. So I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. It's really cute. And they're aware that it's super quick. But at the same time, they're both feeling such strong feelings. But she's also dealing with insecurities because she's just like a librarian in a small town. And he's a famous friggin' superstar in baseball. But the way that he starts to put her first and stand up for her, and the way that she's such a little spitfire, I'm just really loving it. I'm really loving it. I'm probably going to finish it tonight, especially because the game starts soon, and that'll be at least 3 more hours that I have to read. So I will update, but I figured I was going to rearrange because I'm going to change positions so I can watch the game and read at the same time. So I just wanted to do an update, and then I was like, oh, and I'm over 50%. I was going to update at 50%, but it was in the middle of a chapter, but I'm really loving it. It's giving me like the good, fun, small town vibes, and it has like the sports vibe, but it's not overly done because I prefer, I don't know, and he's like 33 and she's 30, so I like that it's not a new adult sports romance because I even kind of struggled with those when I was a new adult. There's very few that I really, really enjoy. And usually I need them to be more mature than their age, even as new adults. I just struggle because I feel like I was always more mature at that age than people around me. So it was hard for me to connect to like young adult and new adult books when I was that age. I always just pretty much read adult, except when I was like in elementary school and reading like chapter books. But the game starts soon, so I'm going to watch that, and I will be back when I have finished calling it. But right now it's looking like a 5-star just because it's so sweet and angsty, and like not very angsty, and it's just completely drawn me in. I'm definitely looking forward to reading more in the series. I kind of want to look up the blurbs and see who the other books are. I'm hoping it's his friend group or even his sisters, because he has 3 sisters and one of them's in a troubled marriage. So I don't know if hers would be like a second chance kind of a thing, or if it would be like a marriage and trouble book. Although I also kind of want to get, oh my god, I just lost her name, Dory's 6 brothers books. Although I think 1 or 2 of them are already married. But I don't know. I'm like really loving this. Jen Doyle's a new author to me. And when I checked my Goodreads, none of my Goodreads friends have read her. The only person I saw on there was Jess from Peace, Love, and Books, has this book marked as to read. But nobody I know has read it. So I'm just like, ugh. So I'm really loving it, and I'm glad I'm loving it. Sometimes I like to kind of go off the beaten path, and I'm glad that I think I ended up downloading this because it was like free on BookBub or on Amazon, or I had credits that made it free or something like that. So I've had it for a little while, but I'm really glad that I finally got to it. It's been really good. So Cheese and I are going to watch the game. Are you ready? Yeah, I've got a mousey. Yeah. She's got a little mousey. She's actually got 2 little mousies over here, because she can't just have one. Yeah, she's all excited now. But so we're going to watch the game, and I'll update when I have finished Calling It by Jen Doyle. See you soon. Hello and happy
Thursday. It is Thursday, January 20th. And it has been a very long day. And so I have quite a few things to update you on. First off, tonight's tea. I'm using I'm going to kick today in the nuts. Yes, it's about 5:45 right now, but we kicked today in the nuts. Patty and I, we got 2 of our big spring orders in today, and we've got them mostly taken care of. All we have left are the blades, which are a whole nother project in and of themselves. But so it's been a very exhausting, but you feel good once everything's kind of done and put away kind of day. Our spring orders are for like parts that we buy in bulk to cover like hopefully at least 6 months, if not most of what we need over the year. So then like we can buy a huge bulk and get extra discounts and dating and yeah, parts. Fun. But tonight I wanted something cozy and feel good and nostalgic. So I went with Genmai Cha, it has 3 ingredients. It's a Japanese tea, and it's green tea, roasted brown rice, and popped, I think segum seeds is how you say it, but it's super pretty. Here, I'll show you. So hold on real quick. But it's like, I'm trying not to spill it. Yeah, but it's super pretty, and it just, This is something that when I studied abroad in Japan, my host family would make at night. But when I studied abroad in Japan, I went a couple weeks before the semester started, and it was like this immersion program where you had a host family and you were able to kind of travel around and have all these little activities. And so that was super cool. So it makes me think of my Japanese home, and I love it. It's one of my favorite teas. I love Genmai Cha. The roasted brown rice just elevates the green tea so much, and it's so good. It's one of my favorites. If you aren't the biggest fan of green tea, I definitely recommend trying it because it does have a different kind of flavor profile, and they usually use a different kind of green tea, I feel like, paired with the roasted brown rice, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe that's just this brand. The brand that I have is Hime, which is Japanese for princess. But yeah, so there's that. Last night I finished Calling It by Jen Doyle. This is book 1 in her Calling It series. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. And here is why. There was a third act conflict. And it's that she doesn't believe him when he says that he's falling in love with her, he wants to be with her, he feels different about her. And it was like that pretty much the whole book. And I know that it was fast, but she felt the same thing and she was just denying it. And so I almost expected something like a trauma or a bad breakup or like some sort of like baggage or something, which is why she was struggling with trusting him. But it wasn't. She just didn't believe it. She thought it was too good to be true, which I understood. But it was like that through 90% of the book. So I wish that like the third act conflict, so to speak, was more figuring out how they're going to do it, because she is running the library in the small town in Iowa, and he's going to be a baseball player, and he's going to be in Chicago and traveling all the time. So I feel like it would have been better if that was the third act conflict, was just figuring out how they're going to stay together and keep their relationship strong, instead of her pushing him away again. And here's my issue with that. He did almost all of the groveling. And that really bothered me, because he put so much into the relationship. He did so much for her with his words, with his actions, just the way that he treated her, the way that he talked about her to his friends, the way that all of his friends saw that it was different with her. And she pushed him away, and she pushed him away, and she pushed him away, and she told him billions of times, it's just sex, just a fling, I'm not your girlfriend. In front of like people, like his manager and GMs of teams and in front of important people for his job, she's saying, oh, I'm not his girlfriend. And it's like, this is not the time to say that.
And he does the groveling. When she finally pushes him away and says, I don't want to see you again, he says, I don't know what else I can do. And he finally steps back after how much. Oh, I felt so much for Nate. I feel like she should have done more groveling because he did everything that he could have possibly done outside of just maybe be patient a little bit longer. But he kept trying to talk to her about it. And why are you so scared? And why do you not want to admit your feelings? And why do you not even want to talk to it? And she just kept being like, shut up. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. So that really bothered me. And I'm kind of ranting about it, but I still really love the book. So it's 4.5 stars. But because it was such a big issue, I did have to dock it. I'm going to leave it at 4 stars on Goodreads and then just put 4.5 in my review. But like I said, she needed to grovel more. And that's something that I kind of have issues with is when someone pushes one too much, why is it that person, like she pushed him away so much and pushed him back and pushed him back and pushed him back. Why is it on him that he finally was like, this is hurting me, that you keep pushing me back. I can't just keep reaching out to you, especially now that I know you're just going to push me away. And that kind of bothered me because I've dealt with similar situations where you try to reach out, and at some point you have to stop reaching out because 99.9% of the time you know you're going to get hurt or let down for trying to reach out. So maybe I connected with him a little too much, but she should have groveled more. And then he did this big whole elaborate engagement scene, and it was, I wouldn't like it, but it was a little too in the limelight, but I guess he's a professional athlete, and he gave her what she always dreamed of, but I don't know. I loved it, except for that. Her pushing him away went on too long. It took her to like 94% to even admit to herself out loud that she had feelings for him. And I know that it was fast, but sometimes when it's like those Fated Mates books or the Insta-Lust books or the Insta-Love books, I want my characters to be on board. If that's what we're going for, have everybody be on board. But otherwise, I still really enjoyed it. I did kind of look at the other books in this series. So there's like 3 books and then 2 novellas. Book 2 it was his like 4 friends. And it was Nate, Wash, Deacon, and I can't remember the 4th. And then there was also Tuck, who's like either the coach or was the 5th member on the team, but he wasn't a part of like the core 4 or something like that. But so book 2 is Fitz, Nate's sister, and Deke. Book 3 is Oz, who is Nate's former best friend that was the father of his ex-fiance's baby that passed away from the accident. And I actually saw that we've actually found out that she was in the car. That was another thing. She was in the car. So she didn't lose the baby from the stress. She lost the baby because she was in the car during that car accident. And then we also found out that the mom with the paralyzed son, it was her fault. She swerved in front of him, and instead of him and the way that he hit like the sidewalls on the highway, instead of just hitting it and crumpling, it hit and flipped over 7 times. So he was completely not at fault. So that was kind of nice. And there was some really cool moments where like his manager and his lawyer kind of stood up for him and was just like, when the new team wanted him to do all these things, they were like, where have you been the last 2 months? You released 2 measly press statements. If he was such a big deal to your team, why have you not been like helping stand up for him? We have police records that he's been cleared, that he's not at fault for the accident, that his knee is fine as per the doctors.
I don't know. That was another little, but that was a really nice moment to see. Like when everybody kind of stood up for Nate, because you could tell that he was kind of feeling alone and kind of at sea, so to speak. But yeah, I definitely want to read the next book that's Fitz and Deke. And then one of the novellas is Tuck, and he's actually a police officer. And so we see him, he's like one of the first people from his hometown that he reconnects with in this. But anyway, and then the other one just says it's a short story that's free when you sign up for her newsletter. And it says that one of the characters makes an appearance. So I don't know if it's just set in inspiration and other people and not necessarily with these 4 guys. But I wanted to see Wash's book. I want Wash. Maybe he gets a romance at the background. And I can't remember the other guy. Jason. The other guy is Jason. I want to see his book. I want these 4 boys to get a book. But we only get 2 of them. So yeah, tonight it is almost 6 o'clock now. 6 o'clock, the Rake Appreciation starts. And we're talking about Ravishing the Heiress by Sherry Thomas. I'm super excited for that. And then that'll probably go till about 7 usually. And then at 7:30... the game starts. So I will be watching the Avalanche tonight. They are in LA. Last night they won 2-0 against the Ducks. I don't like the games with the Ducks because they're just so boring. They muck up the neutral zone so much that like nothing happens. The most exciting thing was like a minute and a half fight with McDermott and I don't know, some guy that he always fights with on the Ducks, but so that's another thing. Tonight I plan on picking up Falling Like Stars by Eve Casey. This is the Smart Women Read Romance pick of the month. It was the one that I submitted and I'm happy that it won and I hope it's really good. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I went through because it was like you could nominate any kind of book. So I went through and I looked at my TBR on Goodreads and I organized it by highest rating. And then I just kind of scrolled through everything and I started at the top and went down until I found something that I saw Justin and Juliet hadn't read before and that sounded kind of interesting. So, and I guess she did a coin flip or something because there was a tie. So I'm happy that this one, I hope it's really good. I found this thanks to Shelby from Shelby Taggart Reads on Instagram. I'll link her below. She reads a lot, mostly contemporary, and she's definitely in the past year spread my contemporary mind. I've picked up a lot of the contemporary books last year, either because of her reading challenges or by recommendation from her. So that's been super fun, but I definitely am excited to pick that up. I know that the hero is Chinese, so we get some good POC rep in this one. And I think he's also like an astronaut or something, so space, cool. So I'm super excited for that. So I'm going to try to rush this now that I've been blabbering on for almost 15 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and do the calendar real quick. So we're traveling with Seth. And yesterday we rolled dice to figure out how much gold that we have. So let us see today. Ooh, these people look a little bit sad. Look at them. Oh my gosh, they got little sad faces. And poor little guys. Okay, let's see what it says. You continue closer to Greatcliff and begin to hear voices yelling from further up the road. When you get near, you find a man and a woman frantically looking around and calling out names. It appears they woke up from camp to find their children missing. Through tears, they beg you to help them find their missing kids. Make a choice. Agree to help if they pay you up front. Offer to help out of the goodness of your heart. Ignore their pleas or continue on. I mean, is it even a choice? Offer to help out of the goodness of your heart. I usually play I never really play evil characters. The lowest I go is neutral good. But I'm usually just good. And then I'm either just good, lawful good or neutral good. Okay, offer to help out of the goodness of your heart. The woman gets a glimmer of hope in her eye as you agree to help search for their kids. They break down and thank you profusely. Gain 1 virtue point. Cool. I don't know what virtue points do. I don't remember. I remember that you can gain them. I think it's kind of like an inspiration kind of a thing. But let me just try to pull up the rules here and see what it says. Okay. Virtue is a mechanic that reflects your hero's morality based on your decisions at certain points in the adventure. Virtue ranges from a minimum of -10 to a maximum of +10. Okay. Every hero starts at 0. So your virtue may also affect some abilities or even bonuses you receive. Cool. So that's it. It is almost 6 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap up here and get ready for Rake Appreciation Society. It's hosted by Jen from the Book Refuge and Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, and I am super excited for tonight's discussion. It's going to be really good. I'm really excited for it. But I will be back to update you once I've read a little bit of Falling Like Stars. And then we will go from there. I will see you later. Bye. Hello. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. This will be a pretty quick update. I ended up not picking up anything up last night. After the game, I was just really tired and I took a shower, and by the time I got to bed, I could hardly even stay awake through the rest of my radio post-game show. So I didn't pick up anything else. I'm feeling like super let's get stuff done right now. So I think I'm going to start putting away Christmas stuff tonight, and then that'll give me more time to read and film a couple videos this weekend. So that's it for the reading portion. I definitely will pick up Falling Like Stars this weekend by Eve Casey. If nothing else, I have to read it by next Tuesday. So that'll be in next week's vlog. We need to do our calendar real quick. So let me grab that. So yesterday we ran into a couple. They were super sad. We got a virtue point for helping them find their missing kids. So let's see. Ooh. Whoa. Look at this. It's like super creepy forest. Okay, so you decide the nearby forest is the most likely place where the children may have gone off to. Perhaps they decided to go play and got lost. As you get deeper in, the thickness of the forest starts to block the sun. You begin to look for signs that the children were here. So 1, avoid getting lost yourself while in the woods. Roll a d20 plus wisdom, reminder survival. 2, search the forest for the children. Roll d20 plus intellect, reminder investigator. Now these are going to be slightly different because we are on our official character now, Savani Moonchaser, our kitty person. So I don't know, I've glanced at her stats, but I haven't looked at her stats. So, okay. And I did not bring my dice with me. So hold on one second. Let me grab something from the living room. I have some dice on display, and there's some ones that I got, and they're in a little bathtub. And I have an obsession with rubber ducks, and these dice are huge, but they've got rubber ducks in them. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's a little rubber ducky in there. And it has a whole set, comes with the whole 7, and then I have an extra d20 that I think was like thrown in for fun or something. So we're gonna go with different dice today, but we're gonna roll the rubber duck. So the first one is not getting lost. So this plus wisdom, our wisdom is a +1. And then it says reminder survival. And we do not have the survival ability, so no bonuses there. This is my first roll with my rubber duck dice. And it is a 2. So we are at a 3. I have a feeling we're going to get lost ourselves. If the result is 7 or less, this is a bit embarrassing. You seem to have gotten lost as well. You begin to focus more on reorienting yourself instead of finding the kids. Get a -2 penalty to your roll for number 2 below. Dang it. Okay, so number 2 is search the forest for the children. So intellect, reminder, investigator. Our intellect's a -2. Plus our -2 for getting lost ourselves. So going into this, we are at a -4. Can you give me good luck? Can you give me good luck? What's that? Oh goodness, yep. Rub your face all over that. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Hey, look at that, a 19. But we have a -4, so it's only 15. Let's see how this went. Oh, if the result is 15 or more, that means I had to roll a 19 or a 20. Holy moly. Okay, but we did. Thank you for the good luck, kitty face. Okay, if the result is 15 or more, you quickly spot a shiny gold coin embedded in the mud. It is near a footprint made by a small child. Add 1 gold to your inventory. As you look around to see where it leads, you notice larger animal footprints made more recently. There are prints of large wolves. You heed the warning and ready your defenses. Gain a +2 defense bonus for tomorrow. Well, that's good. We got lost ourselves, but in getting lost, we possibly found the kids and or the wolves that took them. I'm gonna say took them, not ate them, not at this point. I know like our prologue character was killed, but I don't know how like mean or deadly this is gonna get. So our gold goes up to 14. So we will change that 14, and then I'm just gonna make +2 defense. And then that will be 4, 1, 22. Okay, so there's that. I've got some groceries to put away. And then I think I'm gonna start working on putting away my Christmas stuff. Let me show you real quick, because I don't think I posted it on social media. I am a nutcracker collector. And so let me show you the bulk of my nutcracker collection. So here's my nutcracker collection, at least most of it. I have a couple special ones in my room. So I've got these guys, and I'll try to go in a little bit closer. I love the super unique ones. And a good place to find if you like nutcrackers as well, and you want some super unique ones, like the hockey player or the fireman with the cute little dog. Look at his cute little dog. Oh my gosh. I got those at Michael's. Michael's and Hobby Lobby have great options. And then those are my big guys that I got this year on Black Friday at Home Depot. And then I have a couple that are over here. So excuse all of the clutter, but I've got those guys. And then here's 2 of my favorites. The motorcycle guy reminded me of my dad. He's new this year. And then I got him also at Michael's. And then the astronaut I also found at Michael's, I think last year or the year before. But yeah, I have a couple other special ones in my room. But I just wanted to give you a little taste of my collection. And I've got boxes everywhere for, and then I've got a couple little ones, a couple other places. But yeah. So that's my nutcracker collection. I'm gonna get going on that. That's usually the part that takes the longest, and I love you can see all their backs from in here in the kitchen. But yeah, I'm gonna get groceries away and then figure out where I want to start with Christmas stuff. I have a lot of it as I've been like doing laundry or like pulling out mugs. I've been having a couple boxes and baskets that I've been putting them in. So I think I'm gonna get done tonight what I can of that, and that leaves me more reading time for this weekend. But I had a lot of fun. I feel like How many books did I read this week? 3? That seems about normal. Yeah, because I read the 2 for the Romance Takeover Readathon and then calling it. So yeah, still at 3. This is probably going to be another long one. I just can't help myself from rambling. But I will see you all next week, and I hope you have a good day and a good night. And whatever is going on in your life right now, things will get better. And I'm rooting for you. But anyway, I will see you soon. And also be on the lookout for a couple different kinds of videos. I'm going to try to branching out. We shall see. Have a good night.